Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Timothy here with Mana Rocks, and we are going to record our first Throne of Eldraine draft for the channel. I did a sealed event. I recorded it. The footage got messed up. Unfortunately, I was not able to post it. I've done a couple drafts just practicing the set, best of 3, because best of 1 is not up yet. And I've drafted once in person, but outside of that, in the pre-release, like 2 at a Giant events, that's about all my experience with the set, so it's going to take me a little time to parse through the cards. We'll talk about individual cards and why I'm picking what I'm picking a little bit more in detail than I will as the set moves on. The set is also quite complicated, I've noticed, so bear with me if I start rambling about some of the cards. But Throne of Eldraine, sweet set. We'll see how our first draft pans out. Again, this is going to be best of 3 matches. Once we hit 2 losses, we're out, but we can go all the way up to 5 wins, and we're hoping for at minimum 3 wins before we get that second loss to break even on our gem entry here. Remember, if you like this sort of content, if you have anything you want to say about the draft or the channel or Throne of Eldraine in particular, then feel free to subscribe to Mana Rocks down below. You can leave a comment if you wish, or you can find us on Twitter at MTG_Mana. So what do you say we open some Shrek cards and see what we've got here? Again, I'm not super experienced with the set. I haven't really kind of consumed a lot of content from this set yet, so I'm still kind of parsing through what's what and what's good. So right off the bat, the card that sticks out to me most is Bognaughty. And that's because I do think the green-black food decks are quite good. And this is one of your payoffs for actually having a lot of food. It's fine on its own. It's a 5-mana 3/3 flyer, which isn't super exciting, but also isn't like an embarrassing card. But this turns your food into removal spells, and that's pretty good, right? There's also just enough cards in green and black that make food that it's pretty good. And I've noticed with the food archetype that there's a reasonable number of ways to make food, but you're kind of vying for how you use your food between a couple different cards. There's things like Bognaughty, there's things like the Tempting Witch and stuff like that, and sometimes you have to sack food to actually gain life, so you have to be a little bit careful about just expending your food. The castle also sticks out. I don't think any of the castles are first picks, but I do think they are all cards that you'll put in your deck if you happen to be playing that color. So obviously if I'm playing black and I get past a Castle Locthwain, it's going to be in the consideration here. But I'm not going to first pick a castle over a card that I think is great, especially since I don't know for a fact I'm going to be black, although these are both pretty decent. Flaxen Intruder kind of sucks. The adventure is the real part of the card here that I care about. The creature is not, and the adventure is a little bit overcosted, even though it does have a real effect on the board. Mirrorleaf Pixie, pretty decent. Blue-green, I haven't actually tried out. I had an Oko in a sealed event, but I splashed it, right? I wasn't actually blue-green. And I don't really love starting off with a gold card, not knowing that blue-green is, like, busted. The 2 blue cards here are both quite good, just decent cards, and I found blue to be quite powerful in this set. And then the only other cards, really, that are worth talking about are Siren Barrage with no other red cards in the pack. Clunky removal, you'll play 1 or 2 of these in your red decks. Barrow Witches, if you end up in a night deck, is quite good as just kind of an oversized Gravedigger for knights. And then there's Prophet of the Peak, which is not a first pick, but a card that will make your cut a decent number of times. None of the other cards are really in consideration here, but I think I'm going to take Bognaughty and see if we pick up food or if we just jump ship right away and move into another color or something like that. It does look like we've got a pretty poor pack to follow up with. Neither of these gold cards match our first pick, and I don't think, again, that they're the type of cards that I'm super excited to move into. In fact, this pack kind of just sucks overall. The 2 cards that stick out to me are Siren Barrage and Charmed Sleep, and I'm just going to take Charmed Sleep because it's good. It's just blue removal, and if I can be in blue, I'll be happy to be in blue. Witch's Cottage, similar to the rare castles. I don't really want these lands, basically, at all. But if I end up in the color, I don't mind picking them up late. But I'm not going to pick up a second pick Witch's Cottage here. I do think I'm going to take Charmed Sleep, just because it is a solid removal spell in this set. Okay. Well, that is a card worth considering. Improbable Alliance. I haven't played with this yet, but I've played against it, and there are sometimes it's just completely busted. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, you make a 1/1 flyer, and then it has an activated ability that can get you there. But being able to take this and then just prioritize some of the extra card draw, which there's tons of in this set, is pretty good. It does make me wish that I had the fairy, the Tome Raider from that one pack, but I think Bognati could still be playable here. We don't know we're going to be blue-red, but this is definitely the best card in the pack. Surf Aaron is fine, but not super exciting, and then the other green cards are fine as well. There's also Trapped in the Tower, which is a solid white removal spell, but I do think I'm going to take up Improbable Alliance and see if we can push in that direction a little bit. Doesn't really look like it from this pack. Only a couple cards to really consider here. I think I'm going to take Golden Egg. It does help with Improbable Alliance. It's also an artifact, and I already have 2 enchantments, which could matter for some of the like blue cards, like the Moonlit Scavengers and stuff like that. Does look like Bognati's not going to pan out here, but there are 2 decent black cards. I think this card was initially underrated, and I think people are starting to catch on that it's decent, if not just really good. I found it to just be quite good since this format is pretty slow. And then Lost Legion is a card you can play in any black deck that also happens to be a knight. Elite Headhunter, another underrated card, but not an excited one. I would only even, for this whole hybrid cycle, I'd really only consider playing them if I was in the exact color pair or monocolor. And then I guess there's another Trapped in a Tower here. But I'm going to take Golden Egg. Pretty safe pick too, in case I waffle around a little bit. This pack looks like it's leading me to probably Thrill of Possibility or Raging Redcap. There's also Mysterious Pathlighter, which is a good card. White cards are flowing here. There's this and the 2 Trapped in a Towers that I've already passed. I don't like Dwarven Mine. It's not even really that big of a payoff when you do get to do the thing. There's a Rimrock Knight, which is just okay if you want to be super aggressive, but these 3 cards do not lead us down an aggressive path. Same thing with Rage and Redcap. I think I'm actually just going to take Thrill to go with this alliance here. See if we can scrap together some playables, which we're not seeing a lot of. I think Mantle Tide is okay, but not great. Bartered Cow is whatever. And then Malevolent Noble could actually be quite good with Improbable Alliance, but I think I'm just going to take this Corridor Monitor. And another Golden Egg here. There's an Ogre Errant. There's a Tempting Witch. Tempting Witch is quite good. This is not a 3-color set, though. I wonder if I'm supposed to just take another Golden Egg here. Does give me the possibility to play a 3rd color. Ogre Errant's fine. Yeah, we'll just play the no creature deck, I guess. Well, everyone's favorite card from the set. The Merfolk Secret Keeper. Skullknocker Ogre is very awkward. Not in love with that card. The fact that your opponent can actually use it as an advantage against you is a little bit awkward. It gets them sometimes, so it's fine. Maybe I just want the Secret Keeper, play a super defensive deck, and then look for more payoffs like this. Plus Secret Keeper, we might be able to audible into like a backup plan. People love Gingerbrute too, but this card sucks. Please don't play Gingerbrute unless you absolutely need the food. And again, there's the Reaper too. I think I'm going to take the Secret Keeper here. Back to our original pack, we actually wheeled the didn't say please over the Tome Raider, which is easily my pick here. Goes pretty well with the Secret Keeper. So does Eye Collector, but not really that great. Yeah, it looks like we're definitely blue. We could still be blue-black. Like, we're not taking a red card out of this pack. Forever Young's pretty good, especially if people are going to be playing Mill against us. Just having access to one of these is pretty decent, even if we don't end up playing it in the main board, right? Mistford River Turtle, another blocker. We're not a super aggressive deck. Kind of a combo with Flax Intruder. Gingerbrew, again, not a card. So, yeah, we'll turtle it up here. And then nothing I really care about here. I'll just take the uncommon. Get some Vault Progress. I haven't drafted a lot of this set. Sure, Raging Redcap maybe makes the cut here. And then moving into pack 2, there's a card I really want to see. Mad Ratter is one of the big payoffs for being in the deck that I'm moving towards. I already have the Alliance. The Mad Ratter is very similar. We do need to prioritize a lot of card draw, but I already have double Golden Egg, Thrill of Possibility, so that's already 3 ways to trigger our double draw spells. And you really only need to trigger this once to make it a decent card, and then you need to trigger it multiple times to be able to win the game with it. But I have seen this card just win games on its own. One thing I want to watch out for if I go down this route is I want to watch out for the card Revenge of Ravens. That's the one that if I attack them while they have Revenge of Ravens, it drains a life for each creature I'm attacking. And that means you can't actually attack with 1/1s. They don't do anything. They just damage you and they gain the life right back. So if I'm going down this route, that is a card I would straight up lose to unless I have a backup plan. So having this kind of mill backup plan seems decent for those situations. And it also means that if I can pick up a card like Turn into a Pumpkin or something like that that can get rid of an enchantment, that I want to do so. So I'm going to pick up the Mad Ratter here. Our rare was decent in that pack, but not worth taking. Bacon to a Pie, I would love to take that here, but I think I'm pretty solid in blue-red. As good as Bacon to a Pie is, I think I can just take the Charmed Sleep here. I don't necessarily need Overwhelmed Apprentice. You have to be really hard in mill or really hard in the blue-black kind of cards in your opponent's graveyard deck for this to matter. And we're not super down that line. This isn't as impactful on the board as a 0-4, right? A 1-2 just gets run over. A 0-4 can at least block some of the really aggressive creatures. So I'm just going to take another removal spell and Charmed Sleep. There we go. Here's a pack worth talking about. We have Animated Fairy, which is good with our golden eggs and actually just decent in general with food, right? Do we have other food? Right now we have just the golden eggs as food, so Animated Fairy is basically make golden eggs a 4-4, and then it's a Windrake on its own. There's Vantress Paladin, which is less of a consideration, and I think I'm going to take this turn into a pumpkin. Note that we are actually passing up on a Bacon to a Pie plus Reeve Soul, so that's a little bit awkward, but I think I just want this turn into a pumpkin for the reasons I've already said, and we're going to try to build a very slow controlling deck that just deals with our opponent's threats and uses these cards to just outvalue our opponent and win the game. And then we'll have kind of a backup plan of milling the opponent out if it comes to a board stall or if they play Revenge of the Ravens. But I really like Turn into a Pumpkin. I was about to say we might have to give it a second here, but we're back and we have a Tome Raider, which is solid for this deck. It, again, is another way to easily trigger these spells while also just adding something to the board. You know, not super relevant body, but it's something. The other cards in this pack that I like, there's Foreboding Fruit if you're in black. Again, if you really want food payoffs, this can make a food, although that makes it triple black. Once in Future is a pretty strong card if you're able to Adamant it, and pretty mediocre if you can't. Mystical Dispute is fine, but worse than Didn't Say Please, and then nothing else I really want here. So Tome Raider, easy pick for us. Another Didn't Say Please, another Golden Egg. I don't think I want a second Thrill Possibility, but I'm pretty happy with the first one because this is an easy way to trigger these cards on your opponent's turn, which is kind of the hard thing to do, right? It's hard to draw 2 cards on your opponent's turn. It's not hard to draw 2 cards on your own turn. But I'm going to take another counter spell here, and I'm hoping to get some instant speed burn, right? Because we have Charmed Sleeps, but being able to have instant speed burn and hold up our other instants and kind of choose whether we're countering or dealing with threats is pretty nice. And the golden eggs are fine too, but... Ooh, Queen of Ice. Queen of Ice is quite good. There's also Mystic Sanctuary. That is not a negligible card here, especially since we're going to be very heavy on blue. This is the one that gets an instant or sorcery back from your graveyard to the top of the library if you have 3 other islands when you play it, right? So I like having probably one of these at most, maybe 2 of the blue ones in a very dedicated control deck. The red ones I don't care about at all. I do think I'm going to take the Queen of Ice, though, because it slows the board down. It can help me just buy time. It's pretty decent if I end up with any of the bounce spells or things like that, too. And I do need a couple creatures here. I can't just go completely creatureless, but I'm going to take Queen of Ice, follow up with... I guess here we take a Mystic Sanctuary. I definitely don't even need Joust. I don't have enough creatures. And then Weaselback Redcap is not a card. You have to be real... You really want Knights before you want a Weaselback here. Mystic Sanctuary is a nice pickup, though, given that we just talked about it. Okay, here's a pick that this is actually quite interesting. The second Secret Keeper or the second Tome Raider. Secret Keeper does get better in multiples, right? It doesn't help you much against flyers. I do think Tome Raider is probably a little bit better for our main game plan, though, and I think that's what I'm going to take here. Because our main game plan is to go on the draw 2 plan and just try to win with our payoff cards, and maybe we can get one more in pack 3. The mill plan is secondary, so I think I like the Tome Raider here to go with the main game plan and then keep the rest for a sideboard option. I'm going to take Skullknocker Ogre. At the very least, it can trade off for something. Right now, we're curving out at 4, which is kind of interesting. Overwhelmed Apprentice. Yeah, we'll go and put that one in the board. I don't think I want to Roving Keep in this deck. There's no way. I'm just not trying to pressure my opponent's life total enough that I need this big clunky creature that I have to dump mana into to get my opponent, so I'm going to take a potential card for the mill strategy. Same thing, Blow Your House Down. If my opponent has, like, Trebuchets or something, maybe I bring that in. Alright, Counterspell. I think I'm going to start this one in the sideboard and board it in against blue decks. And I don't think our deck wants an Embereth Paladin. Another Mystic Sanctuary, so we don't have to prioritize those. We actually don't even want anymore. And then here, We've got a couple cards worth talking about. Again, the third Trapped in a Tower. Interesting. So there's another Animated Fairy. The artifact hasn't really gotten better, right? I have that turn into a pumpkin, which makes food sometimes, so it's gotten slightly better, but I think we actually want our food to gain life here. There's Searing Barrage, which is, again, good at just dealing with a big clunky creature. We don't care much about the Adamant here. And then there's Run Away Together, which is nice with our value creatures and just fine, although this does get a little bit worse in the type of deck that we're playing where we just don't have a ton of creatures. Where it's really good is if you can get a good adventure creature and then bounce that back to your hand while also disrupting your opponent. And I guess there's also Escape to the Wilds, which is perfectly splashable with golden eggs. I wonder if the effect is something that I'm really interested in, though, especially since I have a bunch of counter spells and stuff like that. I don't think I want to splash for Escape to the Wilds here. I guess there's also Red Cap Melee, which is fine. I think I'm going to take the Run Away Together. Unfortunately, no real uncommons that we can use here. Doom Foretold is just not cutting it. There is a Steel Gaze Griffin, which could be the top of our curve. It's basically an air elemental in our deck a decent amount of the time. Haven't seen any opts, don't really have a use for Fling here. Yeah, I'll go and take a curve topper here. The Magic Mirror. I don't think that's a card we want to play. The problem with the Magic Mirror is if you can't win very quickly, this actually just decks you faster than it decks the opponent. We are playing a lot of instants and sorcery, so we can probably cast this card. I just don't think it's going to be that good. Lucky Clover I would consider a lot more if I had like maybe 3 or 4 Merfolk Secret Keepers, because it does mill them out very quickly with that card, but I think we have, what, Secret Keeper and Queen of Ice as our only adventures. Hengewalker, not even close to considering. I'm just going to take another counterspell here. And the 4th counterspell or the 4th Tome Raider? Or, I'm sorry, the 3rd Tome Raider. I think I probably want a Tome Raider over a counterspell here. We are going to have a lot of trouble dealing with aggro decks. We don't have hard removal outside of the Charm Sleep, so we've got to hope to actually hit one of our payoffs and stabilize and then use our control spells to kind of get us there. But Tome Raider it is. Options here are basically only the Trebuchet and the Wishful Merfolk. The Merfolk is just a card that I could play if I feel like having a blocker early on. Again, I don't think I'm going to activate this too often and start jamming. Our creatures are really kind of poor, right? Our creatures aren't great. The Trebuchet without Knights isn't great either. It's just a blocker and it can kind of ping a little bit, but that's like a 3rd game plan, right? Getting in there. I don't have any Knights, so it's I guess I have this thing, but am I even playing that? Probably have to. I think I'm just going to take the Merfolk. No, this does a fine enough job at blocking, and it has a little bit of extra value. I'm going to take that. Ooh. Okay. Well, 2 great options here. There's Merchant of the Veil, and there's Witching Well. Witching Well is similar to Thrill Possibility, where it can get you that second draw. It's also an artifact, but that doesn't seem like it matters for our deck. We did not end up seeing any of the Moonlit Scavengers. I guess we have 2 more picks. I would love a Moonlit Scavenger. But Merchant of the Veil is also fine. Haggle does not do it on its own. It's probably better than Thrill Possibility. I'm not sure what I want here. I have a bunch of card draw already. I guess not a bunch. I have Turn into a Pumpkin, 3 Tome Raiders, 2 Golden Eggs. This is 7. I have Thrill Possibility. That makes 7 card draw spells. I think I'm going to take the Merchant just because it affects the board. Okay, and here it's Red Cap or So Tiny. I'm going to just take the So Tiny here. It's good at just staving off early aggressive decks. And then hopefully my 8th pick has a Moonlit Scavenger. I don't want a 3rd Sanctuary, and I don't want any Dwarven Mines in my deck at all. Oh, there we go. We got one. The last possible pick. This card is going to be great for our deck. It plays very nicely with the Run Away Together, and I think we have enough artifacts and enchantments to make it matter. But this is just your giant Mana War. 4/5 is actually super relevant in this format, too. There's a lot of 3 and 4 power creatures that need a little bit of extra help to push through this card. So I'm going to take that, and that was exactly the card I wanted here. Fling is not something I want, but Red Cap Melee isn't actually a pretty strong sideboard card against red decks. We could even mainboard this if we felt like we were really low on removal, but we would be subjecting ourselves to sacrifice lands a decent number of the time here. I guess I'll just take the 1 on-color card I could even consider playing, and I'm going to take an uncommon here for the board. We're not flinging. I guess a 4th didn't say please. And the Merfolk came back too, so let's see what we've got here. We're not really a mill deck, although with 4 didn't say pleases, if we can stall the game out long enough, then maybe we are a mill deck. I don't want to go super low on creatures, but we're also not a creature deck, so we don't need like 1,000 of them. I don't think our deck wants like Rage and Redcap, for instance, or Trebuchet, really. Maybe we board that in, I don't know. Secret Keeper, again, I like having just one of these in case the game stalls out. I might be able to use it to kind of get ahead of my opponent and make sure they mill before I do. I anticipate we're going to run into a lot of mill decks in this format. I think people are just going to like playing this sort of card, which my deck is kind of bad against, but I'm also good against other control decks. I've got a way to punish them, like, not punish them, but push in a lot of damage between Mad Ratter and the Improbable Alliance, so I can beat them that way if I can stick those cards. And then I have a sideboard plan of potentially bringing in some black mana and the Forever Young, although we don't have a ton of creatures, right? I'm not splashing, so I think I'm going to go down 1 golden egg here, although I still like the first one because it does cantrip. I kind of like all the counter spells, I'm not going to lie. Maybe Skullknocker Ogre's not great here. Again, don't want to go super low on creatures, but also don't want to leave myself dead in the water. And then I'm thinking maybe Thrill of Possibility. I didn't end up with the Witching Well. I don't want to cut too many more creatures here because I have like 7 or 8 of them. Or I guess I have 12 creatures. That seems like a lie. I don't trust it. But they say I have 7, so I guess I have 7. The mana here probably seems fine. 1, 2, 3, 4 red cards. If I cut Thrill, I'll only have 3 red cards in my deck. I guess this is my only Adamant card that really matters, and it doesn't even need to be Adamant for this card to be good, so I'm not super worried about pushing all in on blue. I think I'm just going to cut the Thrill. Maybe that's wrong. If I don't have my payoffs, Thrill of Possibility is just Torment and Voice, which is still a fine card. No, I'm going to keep the Thrill. And what can we cut here? The Merfolk or the Corridor Monitor? Or the Secret Keeper, but not the Secret Keeper. Let's cut Wishful Merfolk for now, and then if we find that we're playing against an aggro deck, I can board this in just as a creature that can trade off for something early on. That seems fine. We've got, like, the shell of an aggressive red deck here somewhere. And then our sideboard options, we can go really heavy on mill. We've got kind of a little bit of action against blue. We've got a little bit of action against mill. And then we've got a sideboard card against red. And I guess Golden Egg's also decent against red since it can gain some life. But outside of that, we don't have much going on in our sideboard. So that's what we're playing. Blue, red, I guess 2 cards matter is the name of this deck. We have 2 of the big payoffs. I think this one being a big one. We did not get the rare, which is the best payoff, the Iron Crag Pyromancer. But we'll make do with what we have and try to play a very controlling game here and hope that it works out. So we ended up blue-red. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you would have gone a different direction. I know we passed some good black removal in Pack 2 and a bunch of good white cards in Pack 1. Plus, we saw another Trapped in the Tower in Pack 3. So, could have had maybe, I don't know, some sort of busted night deck. But I don't really love aggro in this format starting off with. And we'll talk about that as we go. But let's go ahead and jump into our first match. Again, thanks for watching. Subscribe below if you like this content. Twitter handle, MTG_ManaRocks. Match 1 coming up. All right, we're here for match 1. I am going to be on the play, even though I do think there's some merit to being on the draw. I just want to make sure I'm not against an aggro deck here. Not a great hand, though. This is very far away, and this actually doesn't work unless I find a target. I am on the play, so I can curve out. I've got something to kind of deal with the first aggressive thing my opponent plays, if they are an aggro deck. I think I'm going to mulligan, though. Yeah, I think I'm going to mull this and look for more action. I mean, this is something. Tome Raider will make up for the card draw that I'm going down, or make up for the mulligan, essentially. And this can block early, just as well as the Wishful Merfolk, and then Tome Raider can, again, get something on the board while getting me to my other cards. I'm going to put a mountain on the bottom. Maybe I should have gone down a mountain. I didn't actually look at the final land count, but I don't need more than 1 mountain to operate in my deck. Maybe 2. In case I want to go like Improbable Alliance plus another red card, but most of my cards are blue. I think I ended up with 3 or 4 red cards in the deck, so I don't really need 7 or 8 mountains. Probably only need like 5. Looks like our opponent has a mulligan decision of their own. Not an ideal hand. I would like to see a counterspell or something like that, but we've got what we've got. If our opponent plays aggressive flyers or anything like that, we might be in a little bit of trouble. But I guess we'll go ahead and wait for RJ Cool 7 to show up, and we'll play when he gets here. Three, two, one. All right, we're back. RJ Cool 7 is here, and they're keeping a 7. Let's go and lead off Island and Pass. We shipped Mountain to the bottom. I just assume... Weasel Cap Red back. All right. Well, Corridor Monitor should be pretty good against that. I don't mind the turn into a pumpkin either. And I'm assuming I have to target myself. Tome Raider... Also good against Weaselback Red Cap. So opponent's on Knights with a Golden Egg. Interesting. This will not be attacking us for a while, and when it does attack into Corridor Monitor, they're going to have to actually use a bunch of mana to pump into it. This takes 4 mana just to get through a Corridor Monitor, and it still trades. I would recommend not playing this card, but our opponent's aggressive, and we also have nothing going on, so I can't say much. I will just fall behind, creature, 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 creature. I can't block everything. Turn into a pumpkin does cantrip, so that's something if they go for like an aura or something along those lines. I can also use it on my own Tome Raider, I believe, to just kind of get the cards flowing. But I'm already stable enough against what my opponent's got. I would like to draw a counter spell just to make sure. All right, Fairy Guide Mother, just getting some damage in. Opponent tapped poorly there, unless they plan on using the Golden Egg to cast the Fairy Guide Mother. This card has been pretty impressive. Nope, they decided they didn't want to. I also drew, frustrating, the 17 billionth land. I'm going to go ahead and attack with the Tome Raider. That's already 8 lands from the deck we've seen versus 3 spells. Yeah, opponent... so this gives us information that they might have a red card. They might have a red heavy hand. Otherwise, I don't know how it works, actually. Okay, Youthful Knight also pretty poor against our deck, I think. So, looking fine here. Looking stable. Would like to find, a spell. Something. Wow, land number 9. Okay, I guess we'll just get run over by having nothing. If they attack with Weaselback, and I block with Corridor Monitor, I probably just block with Tome Raider, to be honest. Because I don't want to just die to this Fairy Guide Mother. Although I can find an answer for that. Okay, opponent's going to go for a trick here. So let's go ahead and try to blow him out. This is, well, what if I go here and then here? No, so I'm thinking here and here. And the reason is my opponent's going to use a trick on this Youthful Knight. I'm going to go and bounce it back to their hand in response. That'll fizzle their trick. They're going to replay Youthful Knight, and I still want to answer to this. And if my opponent does nothing, they just lose Youthful Knight. They're 100% going to use a trick on this Youthful Knight here. Okay, that is in fact a trick on the Fairy Guide Mother, I suppose. So I'll lose my Raider, but they're just going to throw away the Youthful Knight? Or are they going to put that on the Youthful Knight? Oh, it only attaches to a Knight, so they don't lose the Knight, and they just get in with the red cap? This is fine. Okay, I take 3. It's not that bad. I'm going to hold my turn into a pumpkin here. Getting the flyer off board is the big thing for me. Okay, Charmed Sleep. Do I want to use that is a big question. I'm going to play a Mountain here. Nah, I'll just pass. Do need to draw just a little bit more action here. Like a good blocker. I haven't hit any of the 4 counter spells, which would make me feel fine. This is probably going to get hit by a Charmed Sleep, but it also means I'm probably not getting attacked this turn. Also, I can use this to my advantage, I think. If I keep lands, let this hit me. Oh. Oh, baby. Well, please, use the Rimrock guy. Yes, so we get to fizzle this, actually, which is nice. Alright, so let's bounce your Youthful Knights. I will pay Adamant. And since I'm countering the sorcery, the whole spell gets countered and the creature just goes to the graveyard. So they don't get to cast this from Adventure now. I drew into an 0-4, which is actually very relevant on this board. And I have an artifact. I'm wondering if I should just sack the food now to gain life or keep it on board. I think I'm actually going to just sack it now. Because if I draw Moonlit Scavengers, I'm going to cast it, and I have an artifact on board for it. Should probably just cast Thrill of Possibility right away, though. And I think I'm going to go Charm Sleep here, and then maybe cast. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I can do all of that. So let's go Boom, Boom, Thrill, discard Island. Okay, we drew a counterspell. Ooh, we drew the Mad Ratter, too. Don't currently have a way to draw an extra card, though. So let's go Island. Let's go 1, 2. I'd really love to keep up Charm Sleep if I can, but I'm going to hold Corridor Monitor. If I let this hit me, I'm going to take some damage. So yeah, let's go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Charm Sleep here. And then let's go and mill our opponent for 4, and then we'll go ahead and just play an 0-4. That mill might end up mattering if somehow we end up in a board stall. Opponent has a Lucky Clover. Ooh, Steel Claw Lance. So they're splashing black. That makes the Golden Egg make a little bit more sense. And we'll pass. They could also equip Shine and Armor to Weaselback, and then I can't just throw like my Corridor Monitor in front of it. Okay, replaying the Youthful Knights, sure. And equipping, yep. Oh, that costs 3 to equip. This card sucks. I really don't like it. Mistford River Turtle, another good blocker. Unfortunately, can't really punish this, right? It is going to get some damage in, I think. I do need to find a draw spell. But I can go River Turtle, and then hold up Didn't Say Please. And I can afford to take some damage here, right? I have the counter spell up as well, which is decent. Opponent's on 20 cards, so we're not particularly close to milling them. I could probably also just block with my 0-4. I'm fine with them using their mana to get in damage here. I'm just going to take whatever this is. 7? Sure. We can chump next turn if we need to. Mystic Sanctuary gets back Thrill Possibility, ooh, or turn into a pumpkin. So I'm actually going to get the Mad Ratter down now. Because I have a counter spell. Hopefully they don't have 2 removal spells. And I'm going to put the pumpkin back on top. And I'm going to pass the turn. And I'm probably just chump blocking with my Secret Keeper here. The only reason I'd want it to stay on board is because I have the double bounce. Bounce one of yours, bounce one of mine, and then I get to reuse it. But I'm going to go ahead and just chump block with it. Also, they have to use 4 mana just to kill it. And then Mad Ratter should just be very good here. I do have to use turn into a pumpkin on my turn if I want to make the thing, though, because I don't have an extra draw. Alright, we're going to use it right away. What are we using it on? I can bounce Charmed Sleep because I can block this. This gives +0/+2. That's actually a good question. What am I using turn into a pumpkin on? I've got to just use it on this red cap, right? I'm not going to recast my Charm Sleep this turn anyway. Alright, get out of here, little red cap. Pay Adamant. Draw another card, trigger Mad Ratter. And if we can start going off with Mad Ratter, this feels great. I'm probably actually just going to cast Didn't Say Please on one of these. And no attack. Actually, no, I'm not going to counter a red cap. Okay, black card. So if they have like a double black card or something, that's fine. I can triple block this red cap. They can pump it twice up to 5 power. So I can go block, block, block. And even if they use their whole turn, maybe recast one of these, they're just trading for a rat and a Corridor Monitor. And then they have to do the same thing next turn to get ahead. Opponent's seems like they're debating whether to cast another spell or just go for the attack. Nothing? Okay. Sure. Merchant of the Veil. I don't really want that one to resolve. I don't want them to be able to churn through their deck here. Milled a Shepherd of the Flock, which would have actually been quite good. Queen of Ice is a nice draw here. Doesn't get us ahead on the Mad Ratter, but it's a nice draw. So let's go... can I actually Rage of Winter plus hold up whatchamacallit? No. Oh yeah, I can. So let's go Rage of Winter on the equipped red cap, just to make them use their mana to re-equip. And then we can cast Queen of Ice. And I could start attacking, right? My game plan at this point might be to just out-rat him and kill him. So I could go like Turtle plus Rat attack. Or I guess Turtle plus Mad Ratter, because I'm never blocking with Ratter. And then they can pump a lot into this red cap, but unless they equip it, I can just chump with a Rat. I'm going to get a little frisky here. Another non-attacking human can't be blocked this turn. Yeah. Again, I'm not blocking with these creatures, so I think this is fine. They can't really block my turtle. And I have another counterspell up too, so I think I need to draw maybe one or two more spells to just draw extra cards here. And then we get to go off with a Ratter. I've got a counterspell. They've got all the mana they need, but countering that merchant means that they're struggling to find some card advantage. I will counter basically anything that's card advantage here. And then we'll hope to get some chip damage in. Alright, opponent's going to go for the attack. Again, they can pump twice. So I go quarter... No, just nothing? Okay, I'm fine with nothing too. Yep, Tome Raider will do it. As far as the Mad Ratter goes. Nice, nice. Draw me a card. Ooh, another Charmed Sleep. I don't think I need to cast that. Let's make the attack this time with Turtle plus Queen of Ice. Oh, no. That's actually not a great attack because now they can kill my turtle with the red cap. So we'll wait a turn on that. They're going to need some sort of bomb, I think, to get ahead of us here. And a lot of my draws actually draw me into more cards, so we're just going to go off with Ratter here if they can't stop us. And they can't really attack us, so we're probably chipping with like Tome Raider until we find like our Steel Gaze or whatever. They're at 13 cards already, so I could already see them decking out at this point. The Didn't Say Please in my hand is basically guaranteed for another 3 because they can't win with what they have on board, so they have to cast more spells. I probably should have sacked that food. I'm going to keep this in hand. And I can Charmed Sleep this red cap. I don't think I need to do that. I'm just going to attack with Tome Raider and pass the turn. We're going to play a very slow game here, guys. Very slow. But the Charmed Sleep means that I can let a big creature resolve and then just hold up the Didn't Say Please for another threat or something that interacts with my board. Bell of the Brawl, so +1/+0 in Menace. It's not really that big of a deal. Yeah, this is fine. I'm not even sure I need to use Charmed Sleep on that. It does make the other things better attackers, but it doesn't pump their toughness. Alright, let's go ahead and gain some life here. Sack some food. Yeah, that tap in a red before all of the blue there indicates that I have basically no red cards in hand. So I'm going to play a Golden Egg here. That will trigger the Mad Ratter. And I'm not even going to use Charmed Sleep on the Spell of the Brawl. Yep, resolve that. Make some rats. Oh, yes. Yes. All right. That is the card that wins us this game. White does have some enchantment removal, so we're not completely in the clear next game, but I have no clue how my opponent's supposed to win through my counter spell. Maybe getting a little bit cocky here, so let's back up a minute. But having this counter spell in hand means that I feel very safe. Surkara the Bold. I will let that resolve and just Charm Sleep them. Untap. And I want to hold the counterspell, so we're not going to activate the Improbable Alliance. But I'm going to play out all my lands, get in for 1. And if we can get our opponent to a low enough life total, we can just swing out. We've already got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 attackers. They're going to have 4 blockers. So, Betty bye-bye time for Sarkara. If they do have enchantment removal, it's going to be very good against my Charm Sleeps. But Mad Ratter is just slowing the game down. My opponent's also drawing a lot of lanes. That's their 11th land, but that's fine. I'm not even going to activate this. I don't want to draw too many cards. There we go. That also comes close to closing out this game. Just speeds up my clock here. I could activate the Alliance too, but I think the Steel Gaze Griffin is fine enough to cast. And we might get a concession soon. Alright. Steel Gaze Griffin coming down. And we'll pass. We will have to sideboard with very aggro in mind. And opponent drew a 12th land, which is kind of egregious from their end, not going to lie. Alright, we're going to activate. We have 6, 10. Yeah, so we're going to activate here. That way it triggers the Steel Gaze Griffin, and just make sure I always have mana up for Didn't Say Please. Discard the Mountain. Trigger Mad Ratter. Trigger that. Trigger. We're doing the thing, guys. We've got 8 rats on board. Let's go ahead and attack with the Griffin here, and then next turn we can probably swing out. I guess let's get in with... Oh, never mind. That couldn't attack this turn. Let's not get sloppy. Yeah, next turn they're just dead if I swing out with everything, right? They go block. They actually wouldn't even be able to block this because I'll make it... Oh, no, it's a human. Never mind. I can't make that unblockable. Yeah, they're dead next turn. I mean, this is 5 in the air. There's no way they can stop me from dealing the other 3 damage. Draw. I will not show them more cards. I will just... Oh, I guess I'm going to have to discard a card. Whatever. I'll activate the Alliance here. Discard a Mountain. And it's trigger. Let's send everything in the red zone here. They'd have to have some really egregious combination of effects here in their hand. Let's make Mad Ratter unblockable. And they can gain life, which admittedly I forgot about, but they're still super dead. They can go up to 11. This is 5, so they have to block. They can only take 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the rats just kill them. They're also close to milling out. Get them with the death trigger and the mill trigger. I think the 0-4 is probably fine for this matchup. It does block things like whatchamacallit. All right, let's see if this changes the equation. So if they kill the queen, they take 5. They're going down to 6. They can block, or they're going to take 6 and go down to 5. They can block 1, 2, 3, 4 creatures. Yeah, this Scorching Dragonfire just doesn't matter. Yep. And we get to see some rat action here. Opponent might have something relevant in hand. They're not activating Weaselbacks. No, I guess no. Alright, maybe they didn't see all the rats attacking, or maybe they just wanted to play it out for the heck of it. People do that a lot, and that's fine. That is completely fine. Alright, so against an aggressive deck, I think Raging Redcap's probably fine as a defensive creature. It does, it trades off with Youthful Knights. It stops the red caps, or the, whatchamacallits. Red cap melee is definitely coming in. Raging Redcap can come in. Trebuchet might be fine. Skullknocker Ogre again might be fine. Bring in just like the creatures that we want for aggro decks. Bring out maybe 1 counter spell because we're not trying to mill them out. Don't want to cut too many creatures, though. Can probably cut, like, the Thrill of Possibility here. That's kind of a flex slot anyway. And then I probably just don't need some of the cards that I just boarded in. I like the Tome Raiders. I like the red cap melee. I don't know. Do I need Rage and red cap here? Again, it's fine blocker against a lot of the creatures that they're playing. Probably don't need the Wishful Merfolk, though. Rage and red cap are Merfolk. I guess I'll keep the red cap here. We'll run it back for game 2, so we will see you guys there. Alright, we're back. We are on the draw. We have a 2-lander against an aggro deck, and we have a bounce spell that can't currently bounce anything, which could be a problem. I still think I'm going to keep, and if I draw a 3rd land, we'll be looking fine. I can lock down a creature for a turn with the Queen of Ice, which is relevant. Opponent does not have the turn 1 Weasel back, which is nice. Although they probably have this from the looks of it. Or they have a 1-mana red spell. Cool, we drew the Mountain, which is nice. Let's go ahead and just lock this thing down, because we're not doing anything else with our mana. Queen of Ice is actually a pretty good draw against Youthful Knight. I would actually like to keep Queen of Ice for a turn where I can play it and then also hold up Runaway together. And I do want to hit my lands here, so I'm thinking I play a Tome Raider and just let him hit me. I could play Merchant of the Veil. And then they don't have a good attack. They missed a land drop, so we know they're on all spells. I guess if they have Scorch and Dragonfire, is it even that big of a deal? No, let's play a Tome Raider. I want to hit my lands here. They could have Shine and Armor, I guess. Okay, nice. Hidden lands is exactly where I want to be here. Oh, yeah. Okay, Shine and Armor. This makes this a slightly better attacker, but it's not like that big of a deal. And I'm actually fine that one of their cards is Shine and Armor. It doesn't change much since I couldn't really block this Useful Knight very much anyway. My 2/3 still block it just fine. Next turn, let's see what we draw first before we really consider what we're doing. Might just end up playing another Tome Raider and accepting the hit from the Youthful Knight. Okay, they're just hard casting Merchant of the Veil, which is good. I'm, again, probably just casting Tome Raider. I want to be able to get to the point where I can cast a 3-drop and hold up Runaway together during the same turn. And I'm not blocking with Tome Raider means I should be attacking with Tome Raider. I can also kind of afford to lose a creature here. And I don't really need Merchant of the Veil. The one reason to keep Merchant of the Veil is if I draw like a Mad Ratter or something, it's a very easy way to just get that extra trigger. But I have ways to do that already. So I think I could also go Haggle. That discards first, right? I don't really want to discard any of the cards in my hand. Kind of a tough call. I think I'm going to go ahead and play the Merchant because they have to use a removal spell on that basically. I should probably be haggling here. I'm going to attack because I don't plan on chump blocking. There's a good chance they just go, like, kill this, attack for 4. And if they attack, yeah, I'm not going to block. Again, I have this pump spell, or I have this removal spell here, and they're definitely holding a combat trick. I don't want to just run into that. There we go. That's nice. So now I can go, like, Queen of Ice. And then run away together. Could also just play this Steel Gaze Griffin. What are they going to do about that? Yeah, never mind. We're going to do that instead. Because they have to have a better removal spell than just 3 damage to kill that. They can't Trapped in a Tower it. And it'll start giving me a pretty decent attack. This makes sense if they're stuck on black cards in hand. Although this one is a nice way to get around... well, I guess it doesn't get around counter spells. But it can actually deal a decent amount of damage. Merchant of the Veil is not a knight, though. And they can't attack, so let's... play a Tome Raider and attack for a billion. Let me use up all my red mana first here. Maybe I should have played a land there first so I could hold up the counter spell, but we did not. Okay, Steel Gaze Griffin on the stack. I'm going to play my land first now, though, in case they interact in combat. Not even sure what they can have to stop my flyers from getting in there. And now I can start aggressively activating Merchant of the Veil. If I find no other way to draw cards, I can just use this. My opponent's going to go ahead and start using theirs to try and get ahead. If they're searching for lands, they should have activated on their turn. If they're not interacting with my cards at all, I know it sucks to just take 5 in the air, and tapping yourself out makes you feel like you've got nothing. Ooh, this is a greedy splash. This card is great, but you don't splash for that. Alright, I'm going to let that resolve. I'm going to let them go ahead and equip, and then I'm going to blow them back into the Shadow Realm. Sure, I'll even let him attack here. I can actually just even take a... I don't even have to block. Yeah, I do not care. Let's bounce your dude. And I will bounce my Raider. That is less damage I'm dealing to him next turn, but they're going to take 5. Steel Claw Lance. They're not going to have time to equip to this Merchant of the Veil because it's not a knight. Shining Armor is basically a dead card. And then next turn I can go Moonlight Scavengers too. So let's go Tome Raider, and then I'll just hold up the counter spell here. I don't need to counter any creatures. Yeah, I'm just super far ahead here. That played out like a charm. Granted, we played against what we want to play against, which is these aggro decks that we can stabilize against. So that was a nice way to kind of showcase what our deck could do. Even though I don't think we were up against a super strong version of that deck, and my opponent was definitely getting greedy with their mana. Tournament Grounds does not mean you can just put double black cards in your deck. It doesn't work. Steel Claw Lance and maybe Smitten Swordmaster, sure. But don't put Bacon to a Pie in your red-white deck just because you have a couple mana fixers. It's not worth it. You just get hurt, and you see that happening to our opponent there. But anyway... That was a nice way to show off our deck for match 1, and we'll jump right on into match 2. Alright, welcome back, y'all. We are here against Atari Safari. Nice. On the draw with double red and double didn't say please, but we do have a golden egg, so we're going to get to cast one of these if we really need to. Another white deck, another 1-drop. Ooh, playing this out as a 1/1 flyer. That is aggro. Granted, I don't have a good answer to it right now, so if they can buff that or something, then yeah, it's going to get some damage in there. Probably white-green, I guess, if you're running this out right away. Maybe they don't have another creature to put it on or activate on or something like that. Oh, weird Godmother Beatdown. Blue-white, sure. Alright, so let's go and get our mountain out and play a golden egg. We are going to fall behind this. This is a clock, and we're not blocking it with our plays, so I could see Fairy Godmother Beatdown getting there. Let's see if another flyer comes down. Not a Tome Raider. Oh, yeah, we're just going to lose to these flyers. Youch, the draws have not been nice to us. We are drawing dead constantly. This can help a little bit, but it's not great. Crash and Drawbridge I will let resolve. I'm okay with the Drawbridge. I'm not going to use a counter spell on it. I am going to just gain 3 life now, though. Actually, I need an artifact in play for the Scavengers. Maybe not. I'm at 13. There we go. That's pretty good, but I don't have... Ooh, I don't have an extra draw on board, so that's a little awkward. I'm going to play it, though, and this leaves us vulnerable to their next play. Okay, this could be bad, but this is one of the cards that could help us here. Alright, so Flyer plus Drawbridge, I assume, is the name of the game. And then I'm definitely going to crack the egg now, because I have an enchantment for my Scavengers. Although these are all adventure creatures, which is awkward to bounce. Probably just bounce this, because them tapping my creatures doesn't matter that much. Ugh, the draw 3 was not where I wanted to be. I guess they don't get the adamant, so that's something. I guess our opponent has to play around maybe double opt. Opponent does not care about our double opt. We will go to 9, and then we will go back up to 12. And then hopefully we draw a way to draw cards. Charmed Sleep's pretty good. I'm wondering if I should just go didn't say please. Take another 4. They're going to be able to cast multiple spells next turn. Or if I go Charmed Sleep here, I think I have to just pass and let this happen. This is not great for us. They've got a very fast start. We didn't draw any Tome Raiders or anything, which would be very nice. Heraldic Banner name in white. I think I have to counter that. Otherwise, I'm just taking 3 more damage on top of whatever white creature they can play this turn. Glass Casket and So Tiny. Flutter Fox. Yeah, look at this. This is pretty gross. I think we can beat this deck, though, with the right draw. I think I'm way too far behind now. Even drawing cards doesn't get it. So we'll go and go to a game 2 here. And we will board into whatever we have to deal with, just an extremely fast aggro deck. Their deck can beat us very quickly, but it's the type of deck that if they don't get ahead right away, they're not going to win. Trebuchet seems good. It has reach, which some people might forget about. I'm not bringing in Blow Your House Down. I might even consider Red Cap Melee to just deal with a creature. Fell the Pheasant's also good if I could splash it without getting too cute. And I kind of like the Mystical Dispute here. I guess Mystical Dispute's whatever. They didn't show us a lot of actual blue cards. I'm going to go down a Didn't Say Please. I really like this flyer here. Probably just go down some counter spells. I don't want this Mystical Dispute on second thought. And then the other cards just don't seem super great. Bartered Cow. Nah. Yeah, the other ones don't really deal with flyers, so I think this is what we're going to end up playing here. And then hope that we can stick a couple flyers and trade off a little bit. Yeah, this isn't a great hand, but I don't feel like mulliganing against this opponent. Runaway Together is not great against this opponent either. I'm probably just going to haggle. Try to draw into something else. Pitch the other mountain, I assume. This is an instant, right? Yeah. I could give it a turn in case I draw a Improbable Alliance. I would like to have this in my hand. I don't think it was right to counter the Crash and Drawbridge last game. That did not seem like where I wanted to be. Them having that draw spell was really bad, though. Bad for us. Either... No, they're mulliganing. Which a super aggro deck can probably get away with a mulligan. And yeah, let's just, I guess, haggle now. Yeah, I want to draw a little bit of action. Let's pitch this other mountain and drew an island. Great. Alright, here comes a Guide Mother. Yep. Alright, Didn't Say Please is fine. Probably going to have to run this out on turn 3. That gives us something to do with our mana if they don't actually play into the counter spell. Yep, Flutter Fox maybe? No 2-drop. Ooh, we got owned. Although, oh, and we discarded the mountain. Alright, well, I don't think it's right to play Alliance right now because it doesn't use my mana up. I do think I'm just going to play Merchant here. And see what they've got. They're going to double bounce. Oh, sure. I mean, that doesn't actually do anything. They're just doing that because they can. Alright, Mistford River Turtle, not great. So, I do want... Or, actually, I Didn't Say Please in my hand. I've got plenty of mana. I think I just have to pass. And I'm going to attack. My opponent might not actually block here. And I just get the 2 damage in, plus my guy can't block theirs. So this is all well and good. Glass Caskets. I think I actually let that resolve. And then I go Runaway Together here and here. That way, you know, this just sits on board. And I'm probably going to go Improbable Alliance plus hold up the counter spell. That way, the turn after I can haggle. Mystic, that actually doesn't seem bad. Let's go, I should play a land first. Yeah, I'm going to play a land first because that lets me play around the Mystical Dispute if they have it. I will put this on top. I will cast Improbable Alliance, and then I'll pass the turn. And then we'll counter something this turn. Hopefully it's just Tactician or a draw spell. Okay, nice. Golden Egg, another Fairy Guide Mother. Let's see if they have another aggressive creature to put out. They don't. So let's go Haggle here. Probably just discard the turtle, right? Turtle doesn't block anything. This gets a fairy on board. Could discard an island. One, two, three, four. I mean, the turtle doesn't do anything at all. No, let's ditch an island. It's got to be better than that, right? And I'm actually going to go ahead and play the merchant now. And pass the turn. So drawing the mountain there was actually great because now I can play the merchant and hold up Runaway together. Heraldic Banner, this is fine. This doesn't actually change the combat math here. It does give him an extra mana, but it's not that big of a deal. It does make that a little bit bigger, but I think we can beat what they're playing with Improbable Alliance here. Like, I can start haggling now to get ahead on the fairies. Charm Sleep here and then haggle seems fine. I should do this first, though. I don't need this turtle, so I'm fine discarding it. Yep, get out of here, turtle. Wouldn't mind even just finding more counter spells. Oh, ooh, opponent conceded. Wow. Opponent decides they cannot beat Improbable Alliance. Wow. Dang, their deck is really all in. And it's super white, too. Super white deck. Alright, kind of want to go up this red cap melee just to have a way to deal with a creature. Because none of my other things really do anything. Fling is bad. Secret Keeper's also probably pretty bad here. I mean, just go down cards that don't do anything, right? That's the name of the game. I guess this does something, even though I have to sack a land for it. That's fine if I can live long enough. Mystical Dispute does something. Golden Eggs do something. Maybe this is a little bit too ambitious. It's just all their creatures fly, so having little ground blockers doesn't really accomplish anything. There is this Fell the Pheasant, which is extremely good against them. Maybe I go like, or down a mountain. And then play Fell the Pheasant in a forest, and I have Golden Egg. 8, 14, 15, 16. I might actually do that. I do have ways to rummage away forests and Fell the Pheasant, so it's not like it's always going to be stuck in my hand, and it is just very good against my opponent, so I think it's probably worth it. And then this gives me 41 cards, so I can bring out, again, something that's useless or just not going to cut it, like Corridor Monitor, probably. I don't need the early creatures. Cutting too many creatures does kind of suck against whatchamacallit, though. Against, with the Runaway together, but I've got enough to do with that, I think. So yeah, here we are. I'm going to bring in this forest and see if it pans out. All right, Game 3 coming up. All right, here we are for Game 3. God, if one of these counter spells was just a land, I would be very happy with this, but I'm gonna mulligan the one-lander despite having a removal spell. This is close. This is so close, but I'm going to play on the safe side here. Sure. Mountain to the bottom. We've got a little bit of interaction here, so this is fine. Keep mountain to the bottom. And I'm just going to lead off with Sanctuary here. Just guarantee I have my Adamant for this. Yep. Okay, Golden Egg is fine. Opponent also didn't have a turn 1 Fairy Guide Mother. Charming Prince. I'm probably going to scry 2. It's respectable. I mean, it's just a bear after that. Like, it's good. But this is actually a beatable card. That I have something that can just straight up block. And I don't need to play Golden Egg, like, right away or anything. So I think I can just go ahead and freeze this thing down. That way, if they have a Guide Mother or something, they can't do it this turn. Like, if they wanted to curve out Guide Mother plus spell, Flutterfox is a better Charming Prince. Ooh, So Tiny was a nice draw. So question is Queen of Ice or Golden Egg plus So Tiny. I think I'm just going to go Queen of Ice here. And then they have to play an artifact or enchantment on Queen of Ice to get the Charming Prince in there. I guess they could go like Ardenvale Tactician. I'm just going to cast this thing. Because this might just stop them from attacking altogether, depending on what's in their hand. If they don't have an artifact or enchantment to get that fox in the air. I guess Heraldic Banner would be really good. Because it would get the fox in the air and it would trade the Charming Prince here. Okay, Tome Raider's reasonable. Another golden egg. So I don't mind the Flutterfox actually getting in there now. I'm going to go golden egg into So Tiny probably this turn. Oh, Tome Raider of our own is fine as well. I'll go another golden egg. Probably not. I kind of like the So Tiny. Alright, what's your 4-drop? What is your 4-drop, my friend? Okay, golden egg of their own, sure. That does get Flutterfox up there. Also, they are drawing extra cards. Granted, this basically might as well have been an aura that gives Flutterfox flying. Does give them double white, which could matter as well. And Crash and Drawbridge, again, I don't think I'm fighting over that card. Sure, their next couple plays have haste, but I'm not under too much pressure right now. Deal with this Flutterfox, which is fine. Just taking one. Alright, let's play some Tome Raiders. I guess Golden Egg Tome Raider. Which one first? Probably the Golden Egg. Give me potentially something else to do with 3 mana. Okay, Steel Gaze Griffin is very good against this opponent. And I don't mind trading Tome Raider for Tome Raider if they give me that opportunity. So let's see what they follow up with. They've still got 4 cards in hand. They've got a healthy number of cards, and they're playing blue, so they've got some cantrips and stuff like that. Plus, all their creatures are coming in with haste. The double bounce would be very nice with Flutterfox. Or I guess if they could get this back somehow. Gingerbrute? Sure. They can give Gingerbrute haste? Wow. Ooh, all that glitters. Wow. Nice. So this is a 4/6 despite being -2, -0. And I'm not getting them to 6 cards anytime soon. 7 or more cards? Okay, I'm actually fine with this. I'm going to take 5, which is a reasonable amount. And I'm probably going to play Steel Gaze Griffin here. Take another 5 or whatever. Let's get this forest down. Play Steel Gaze and pass the turn. Because turn into a pumpkin can potentially bounce all that glitters mid-combat. The problem with that being that they could then replay it. So I might actually have to just bounce like Flutterfox and lose my So Tiny or something like that, which sucks. Youch. Okay, that was extremely bad for me. Although they can't attack with Gingerbrute this turn. Oh, yes, they can. So I'm taking 6. The tempo plays definitely got me. And I don't think I can afford to now go Steel Gaze and pass. I'm a little bit of trouble. I would love to draw Fell the Pheasant. No such luck. So I think we just have to go Tome Raider plus turn into a pumpkin. 1, 2. I need to keep up Adamant. Yeah, let's go Tome Raider here. If we draw Fell the Pheasant, we can still use a golden egg to kill the flyer. We need to find an answer for Gingerbrute now, too, which kind of sucks. Alright. Passing back. The golden eggs can buy us some time. We drew our green mana, so we can afford to sack these for food if we need to. We just need to kind of stabilize against our opponent here. Although if their hand is all spells and they're just super aggro, we're going to have a lot of trouble. Probably going to go turn into a pumpkin on Flutterfox this turn, though, which feels bad. Maybe I end up using the counter spell and just chump block Flutterfox. That also doesn't feel great. Fairy Guidemother on Gingerbrute. So if I bounce this back, chump, they replay this, give it haste. Or rather, give it unblockable. But I can gank the Fairy Guidemother as well. Not 100% sure here. This is not good for me regardless of what they do. I think Am I better off bouncing Gingerbrute here? Let's see. If I can get more cards into their graveyard. 7 or more cards in their graveyard. It's just not going to happen, right? So, I don't know. This is tough. I think I've got to go here. But then what is my plan for the Flutterfox? I think I have to let this resolve. Take the extra damage off the Flutterfox. Or rather, bounce the Flutterfox, I should say. They're going to play the Guide Mother and then give it haste, I assume. Make Gingerbrute unblockable. Yeah, that's the game plan, it looks like. Okay. I'm going to trade Tome Raider for the Guide Mother. Or no, I'm going to block the Flutter. Or block the Flutter. No. I keep saying I'm going to do things. But what I'm actually going to do is bounce Flutterfox, trade with Guide Mother, yeah, bounce Flutterfox, which kind of sucks. Hold on. Because I'm just wondering, if I can get So Tiny up to -6, -0, this becomes kind of blank again. So I'm wondering if I trade here or just chump and then like bounce Gingerbrute. None of these are great. So I'm going to bounce Flutterfox. I think I need to use this. I lose my So Tiny, essentially. Runaway Together is a pretty good draw. And then chump. And then I get to resolve this Steel Gaze Griffin, and I need to find an answer to Gingerbrute now, basically. Another counterspell. Not the worst, I suppose. If I'd known I was going to draw that, then the So Tiny would have been nice. But here I get to go ahead and play Steel Gaze Griffin. I get to hold up a counterspell. And I've got food to kind of fight this thing for now. I do think I leave Queen of Ice back on defense, though. And again, we have to deal with Gingerbrute now. Gingerbrute is the card that is going to beat us if this game just goes on like this. No thank you. They also can't make Gingerbrute unblockable. See how quick they snap that off, though. Jeez. Trapped in a Tower, Unexplained Vision. Both cards I am happy my opponent does not have right now. Island. Not a great draw. We do need some draw spells. We definitely need some draw power here. I think I hold that in hand for my red card draw spells. And then just pass the turn. Maybe sacrifice some food. I mean, I'm at a virtual 14 life here, so I'm not close to dying. I've got some interaction. If they try to, like, interact with my creatures, I can bounce. If they play a game-winning card, I can counter. Like, I'll just let a Flutterfox resolve. I'll let this Golden Egg resolve. This is all fine. I don't care about them having life gain or anything like that. An Ardent Tactician would be a problematic card, I suppose. Sure. Gingerbrute's unblockable. I mean, they've got infinite life gain, basically. Something to pressure them would be nice. Improbable Alliance would be an absurd draw. Not absurd, actually. Tome Raider, again, doesn't really change that much. I'm going to let it resolve. I don't think I should use my counterspell on something that I have an answer to on board currently. Let's go ahead and sack some food here. Let's start with this one. Fell the Pheasant would be a good draw. And I think sack one more. Alright, this gives me a decent little life buffer here. I'm still not in the business of attacking with my Steel Gaze Griffin, though. Alright. There we go. That's what I want to draw. This also gets my Griffin. I'm probably just going to attack with my Griffin this turn. Then they play Flutterfox and attack me back for 3. Let's see what we draw. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be playing the long game here. I can win with a counter spell, I think. Or I can mill him out. Charmed Sleep seems fine. Charmed Sleep on Gingerbrute? Is that where we want to be in our life right now? I don't think so. I don't think we want to be there at all. No, we can give it some time here. I'm just not going to use my spells while I have answers to what they're drawing here. I'll keep Didn't Say Please for like a potent draw spell or a removal spell on my Steel Gaze Griffin or something like that. Runaway Together can help me a little bit if need be. And then Charmed Sleep can come down on a creature I otherwise wouldn't be able to deal with. Mysterious Pathlighter. Yeah, I'm going to let that resolve. Their adventure creatures come in with additional counters. I mean, if they just go down the path of sending a bunch of creatures in, then I think we're going to kill them. I just need to stall the game out long enough and get some draw going that I can mill them out, and I'm not really worried about Gingerbread. I just don't think I'm going to be able to beat them by attacking their life total this game through 12 extra life on board. Okay, Mystical Dispute is respectable, I suppose, if we get into a counter war, but nothing to scoff at. I mean, do I just go Charmed Sleep on Gingerbrute now? That seems a little bit embarrassing, right? But they don't have anything to deal with my Steel Gaze Griffin, so... Sure. This stops the clock. They're hoping to draw Pathlighters, or Guide Mothers. I've already dealt with one, right? No, okay, we're not going to do that. Yeah, let's just take a little bit more damage, I suppose. I just really want to save this Charmed Sleep for something big of their own. Like, if they play a Steel Gaze Griffin, then it becomes a real problem for me. $15 cards left. Glass Casket gets rid of Queen of Ice, and then they can attack with everything. I block a 2/2. I take 2, 4, 5, 6. Puts me down to 3. I go back up to 6, but I get to just eat a creature. Again, let's let this resolve, and then we'll use our Runaway Together, I think. Bounce Queen of Ice. I guess bounce Pathlighter, right? Makes them use most of their mana to replay that. Yeah, this seems good. I can reuse Queen of Ice next turn to stop Gingerbrute for a turn. And this just kind of blanks the Glass Casket. This is a sorcery, so I can't use it right now. Gingerbrute coming in. Yep. All that good stuff. Get in for your one. Get in for one. And then they'll probably just replay the Pathlighter. I'm going to sack this food and end the turn. Ooh, throwing away creatures now. Let's go kill Flutterfox. I'm not missing any onboard tricks, am I? Did they make this unblockable? Yeah. Yeah, let's just kill Flutterfox here. Maybe I'm supposed to kill Tome Raider. Nah, let's just preserve damage. Yep, opponent's definitely going down the path of trying to get me as low as possible so that Gingerbrute can finish us off. I mean, they could have a card like Dance of the Manse in their deck or something like that. But I've got good draws here. Fell the Pheasant would be good. It gains another 3 life, essentially. Any card draw spell is good. Tome Raider is obviously good. I have plenty of free space on my OneDrive. Don't tell me how to live my life. All right, let's go Tome Raider. Okay. Steel Graze. Ooh, Trebuchet. Not enough turns for that to actually matter. Opponent's got something in hand, I guess. Now, what I want to be very careful of is getting to the point where I have less cards in deck than the opponent, which I currently do, and then they just choose not to cast spells so I can't mill them out, and then I'm the first one to mill out. I do have a Mystic Sanctuary, which can get a spell back. But what that means is that if they give me another opportunity to counter something, I should probably use my Didn't Say Please and then just avoid drawing more spells. Or drawing too many extra cards. Let's go I'm going to play my island, and then I'm going to go Queen of Ice on Ginger Brute here. I'm not going to play my Queen of Ice from Exile, which is a little bit of a dead giveaway that I have something worth casting, but my opponent doesn't need to know all that. Like, opponent's got 14 cards left. I think I can give it a little bit of time. Again, they're in a position where I'm at 8. They do have enough turns. I can Charm Sleep this at some point if it becomes an actual threat. Another mountain. So we're just going to play out some stuff here. Let's go Queen of Ice. Maybe I should be attacking them. I don't know. Queen of Ice and then Trebuchet. I mean, if I draw Mad Ratter like next turn and then hit some draw spells, I could see potentially getting ahead of them. Queen of Ice can actually attack too. Actually, no. When it deals combat damage to a creature, it can attack into their board, which doesn't matter much. If the drawbridge blocks it, it'll actually block the drawbridge down for a turn. 1, 2, 3. Let's go 1, 2, 3. Put the fear in the man by keeping the green mana up, but not the red mana. Trebuchet can block flyers again. Actually gets a little bit of damage in there too, which is something, but if I attack with the Steel Gaze, I can block through their creatures, so I think I actually like making that attack here. Maybe not. I do have to, maybe I have to go after their life total. Maybe they've caught on that my goal is to mill them out. Nah. Give it a turn here. Give it a turn, start attacking with the queen, start dealing some extra damage. Opponent says nice. What's nice? Oh, okay. Well, Atari Safari got bored, I suppose. Well, like I said, that aggro deck was sweet, but we can beat an aggro deck if we can stabilize. We've got very good control of the late game. But you also see kind of our problem where we can't really kill our opponent super easily. We don't have a lot of damage on board, so if we don't draw like our Mad Ratter or our Alliance early and get it going, then we have to resort to the mill plan, which is what we're doing. But that puts us at 2-0, 2 pretty long games against 2 very different decks. We've had the fortune of playing against aggro. I do not want to play against control, but round number 3 coming up. All right, back for round 3 against Kala. Easy mulligan here. Unfortunately, no islands and 2 double blue spells. Almost click keep. Looked like the opponent mulled as well. This is a much better hand. River Turtle's a little awkward in our deck, I'm not going to lie, but pretty good against an aggro deck. Does need some Tome Raiders. I might just put this turtle on the bottom, although it's our only creature. I'm going to put the turtle on the bottom. Yeah, bottom the turtle. Ooh, shuffle that card back into the deck. Nice. Fabled Passage, fine card. For an island. You know what I don't want to play against, though, is islands. Alright, Secret Keeper us. Mill us for 4. Blue-white again? Witching Well? Sure. Here's where I like the mill plan. If our opponent's going to be drawing a million cards, they might just be blue-white, like Artifact Enchantment Matters. That's a deck. We'll play another island and pass. Basically, if they play anything, I'll probably put So Tiny on it just right away. Blue-white has some stuff going on. Yeah, this seems fine. Just make that a non-threat. And as much as I want to play this Golden Egg, I'll keep up my Didn't Say Please here. The Witching Well is annoying because it means they can run out a bunch of cards and then they've got extra draw power just sitting on board. I can't do much about that, but I think holding the counterspell here is fine. If they just play like a small threat, I'm not going to worry too much about it. Youthful Knight. I think I just let that one resolve. But I'm going to play my Golden Egg next turn. Let's go ahead and just counter this. Gadwick. Youch. Gadwick is insane. And they're going to go Guide Mother now? Yeah. Alright. 2/2 Guide Mother. Thrill of Possibility. Not great. Let's go Golden... I guess Thrill of Possibility is fine if I draw one of my payoffs. Let's go ahead and Golden Egg it up. Another didn't say please. Sure. And then do I want to cast Thrill Possibility? I think I can wait on that one. I'm not dying for a spell here, I don't think. I have Charm Sleep to deal with another threat. Yeah, opponent's, again, just a full-on aggro deck. I have a lot of things that can block a 2-1, though, so I'm not super worried about that. Should probably just cast this to dig deeper for an answer. I'm pitching this island if I do. But if I draw Improbable Alliance... Alright, let's wait. Another Charm Sleep, sure. So let's go ahead and Charm the Godmother and pass. Opponent does not have a 4th land, which is interesting. And I don't think I'm supposed to get rid of this Egg for life at the moment. I'm also definitely not casting Thrill, because I do want these 2 cards in hand. Like, a 6th land would be nice to go Charm Sleep on a threat and hold up the counterspell. That'd be a fine turn, and then maybe this can help me recharge. Oh, just drawing now. Interesting. Well, that makes next turn a little bit more reasonable. It means we're going to have some counterspell backup, but the opponent is fully charged on cards again. Yeah, let's not go right away. Mystic Sanctuary. Huh. Do I want to put another counterspell on top? I could probably do that, right? Do I want to draw another counterspell? Go Charm Sleep here. I'm not even going to use Charm Sleep yet. Alright, so here's what I'm thinking. If I put this counterspell on top and I show my opponent that I'm doing that, maybe they go for, like, their best possible play next turn, thinking I don't have a counterspell because I want to get this back, and then I just counterspell anyway. See what I'm saying? Granted, they could also play around this by doing whatever. Yeah, I'm just going to counter this. Whoa. Quadruple white in their deck. Fireborn Knights. Shepherd of the Flock also really would have been good, given that they have 2 creatures locked down. Yeah, Shepherd of the Flock, not a card I want to run into right now. Alright, we're going to probably Charm Sleep this turn, since we know we're drawing this counter spell. Oh, they have another Guide Mother. Might be debating whether to play it or not, given that they know I have the counter spell. Interesting. Again, I don't think I'm supposed to Charm Sleep this Youthful Knight. Because I can let a big creature resolve here if they try to bait me, which is what they're going to do. They know I have the counter spell. And most of my draws are good with this Thrill here. Overwhelmed Apprentice is fine. Again, I have a ton of creatures in my deck that deal with this. Good. Get rid of those. I don't want those. Mystic Sanctuary is another counterspell, but I don't really need a bunch of counterspells. Also, if they cast a spell into my Didn't Say Please, that really messes up the Scry. So I don't think they're casting another spell this turn if they really want that to happen. Yeah, we'll counter that. See what they put on top. They put an Ardenvale Paladin on top. Ooh, Stone Coil Serpent? Youch. Alright, I'm going to take 2, and I really want to draw a creature. Oh, I have these stupid enchantments on board. I can sack this Golden Egg. I do not need to keep this Golden Egg on board. Just gain a little bit of life, a little bit of time. Another counter spell. I still don't think I'm going for the Charmed Sleep here. I have multiple creatures that just block this thing. The stupid turtle blocks. Yeah, I think I'll just wait. I need to draw something quick, but if I draw another land, I can turn it into spells, hopefully. Yeah, get that out of here. Alright, bunch of lands from them that time. They are down to 11 cards, too, so if I draw like a Merfolk Secret Keeper, maybe we have an avenue to win. I'm getting a little well myself. It's a little. Yeah, Corridor Monitor. See, that blocks. Exactly what I was talking about. I am out of counter spells now, though. And they're probably holding some amount of removal. They haven't cast anything, so I assume they're going to use a removal spell on this monitor, and then I'm going to be like, well, like a Trapped in the Tower or something. I definitely think I can beat this sort of deck. It's another all-in aggro deck. I don't think they should be playing this Fireborn Knight with Gadwick, too. That's extremely greedy. Like, right now, they're not even close to casting a Gadwick. Youch. This is extremely bad for me. I guess the only thing I could do here to try and help is Thrill of Possibility, looking for my own whatchamacallit, but I don't think I give up this Charm Sleep. I think just let this happen. I'm going to take 5. And then they're going to have a lot of power on board suddenly. Granted, I have the option to go Charm Sleep on the Fairy Guide Mother and replay Corridor Monitor. So they have to have another answer afterwards. It just gets them in for a big chunk this turn and makes me use another spell. That was a good turn for them. Ooh, that's also good. Maybe I just go Corridor Monitor and pass then, and just take another 2 from the Guide Mother. I think that's going to be my play. Or I can go... Yeah, if I play Corridor Monitor, that stops basically both the ground attackers. Because if they just attack with this, I block. If they attack with both, I kill this. And they're not going to just throw away this to get in for 1. The alternative is to go Charmed Sleep on the flyer and take 3. And then cast Didn't Say Please on whatever they cast for the turn. I think I like this option a little bit more of the Monitor to hold off the ground attackers. And then just accept that I'm going to 5 here. Looks like another deck where bringing in the Fell the Pheasant and the Forest is probably going to end up being pretty good. 2, 3, 4, 5. They don't have lethal on board yet. Jeez, these people are all in on these Guide Mothers. My God. That was a Lonesome Unicorn. Opponent down to 6 cards. Let's see what their last card is. Fae of Wishes. They're searching for a card in their sideboard, a non-creature card in their sideboard. Silver Flame Ritual, sure. I guess that lets them do a little bit of extra damage. And then I have to worry about the Fae as well. Oh, pretty easy turn of going Tome Raider into Charmed Sleep, but I should go Tome Raider first. Yeah. Okay, drew... Oh, Queen of Ice is nice. So if I go Charm Sleep here, they go Fae plus Silver Flame Ritual. And I can block one thing profitably, and then chump the other one. And then I got to kind of deal with some stuff. Opponent is down to 6 cards. I think I have to deal with this for sure. Alright. Do your worst, opponent. I think that's the play, is probably just Fae into Silver Flame Ritual. Does use their whole turn to do that, unless they drew something better. Yep, so here comes Fae. Oh, it came down as a 2/5. That is disgusting. Well, if they attack with Youthful Knight, I can't double block it, actually. Kind of sucks. Let's just block here. Yeah, if I double block, they first strike off the Tome Raider, and then I can't actually kill the Knight. That was not a good draw. I guess maybe it was a good draw. Let's go Thrill of Possibility, discard this island. Merfolk's Secret Keeper is kind of what I'm looking for. And we can go Tome. If I draw Secret Keeper, if I don't die next turn and I draw Secret Keeper, then we have something. I could stop Fae of Wishes for a couple turns here with this turn into a pumpkin, and let's see if our opponent finds the way to kill us here. I do have to chump block Overwhelmed Apprentice now. Yeah, Secret Keeper for the win. Maybe. I guess I can turn into a pumpkin, bouncing so tiny, and put it on a different creature to buy a turn. But it really comes down to what they have this turn and whether or not I get a little lucky. Ooh, Shepherd of the Flock. Youch, that was actually just a busted draw. Now they get to go ahead and give something flying, which doesn't change too much. I guess they get to put a bunch of power on board, so we've got to dig next turn. I've got to chump Youthful Knight, but I've got a good block on the Overwhelmed Apprentice. Yeah, Shepherd of the Flock was actually kind of a busted draw there. Really. Okay. So yeah, easy block here, and then easy block here. I think we're just searching for Secret Keeper here. Merchant of the Veil. So block, take one, trade Queen of Ice here, and then we use turn into a pumpkin on something. Should I just turn into a pumpkin right now? I can't use it on this. That's really bad. I can't use it on either of these, or they find like an answer. I think Youthful Knight's the only thing that it makes sense to use it on. 1, 2. The thing is, if I draw the Secret Keeper right now, then I win the game. So I think it's worth using it right now, since I'm going to use it anyway. And then just make sure I've got this planned out. I'm going to block, or I'm going to chump block here. I'm going to take a hit from the Guide Mother. And then I'm going to block the other two. Sure. Alright, let's go ahead and bounce Youthful Knight. Pay Adamant. Resolve. No, no such luck. Well, I can haggle now. Oh, but then I wouldn't be able to recast one of my creatures. So I think I just have to play Merchant. Let me see. I want the Merchant to live if I can. So if I play the Merchant, I block here. Yeah, Merchant blocks here. Corridor Monitor. No, I have to play Queen of Ice, I think. Oh, I do have the life gain, too. So chump block, block, take 4. Nah, none of these are great ideas. Alright. Haggle gives me another potential turn. But I need to find my mill card, or else I'm just going to lose here. Also, opponent has 2 unknown cards. They could potentially push in for the win here. A couple cards do it. Ardenvale, Tactician, and whatnot. Alright. Everything getting in there. So block as promised. Queen of Ice is going to trade here. We're going to block here and hope they don't have a trick for this Guide Mother. And if they do, we die. Nope. All this does is get one of their blockers off board, and they now have 2 lethal flyers. So it's bust time. My Griffin could do the trick. Alright, here comes Youthful Knights. Here comes Youthful Knight. Oh, please play a 3rd Youthful Knight. No. Idyllic Range, sure. Secret Keeper. Ooh, does Scavengers do anything? I don't think it does. Yeah, I don't think I can profitably play Scavengers here and live through another turn. Because if I bounce this again, they find something that kills me. And then I'm just dead to this anyway. If I bounce that, they give something else flying. So that's not great. I think I've got to haggle here. I've got to search for Secret Keeper. Yep. I think I discard 4, 5, 6. I didn't consider Scavengers plus the food, though. I don't think that's enough as it is. Discard the island. Play Runaway together. Okay. Cast this, and then I can activate, but that doesn't do it. Does Runaway together do anything? No, not at this point. I think I have to accept my loss on this one. Yeah, I can't stop the life gain, can I? I can go gain life, block, bounce this. That puts me at 4. If I block one of these, I bounce this out of there. I still take 6. So rather than show my opponent more cards here, I'm going to go ahead and concede. If I had kept the island in hand, maybe I could have won, because I could have played Merchant, gotten rid of this Runaway together with the haggle ability, the activated ability, and then still have an island up. Another aggro deck. Trebuchet in again. We're against blue-white this time. I kind of like the Fell the Pheasant, Golden Egg plan. Go down a mountain, go up a forest, as last time. And let's see. Things that block Youthful Knights. Mystical Dispute against blue-white. Probably fine. The turtle also seemed relevant there. I just took a lot of damage early on that I could have blocked if maybe I'd kept like my turtle in hand or something like that. I do think Mystical Dispute is probably just worse than Didn't Say Please, though, so we're not going to do that. It's also worth noting they have multiple Shepherd of the Flock, so my enchantment-based removal gets a lot worse. So I might take out like So Tiny and just keep the Charmed Sleeps in. That's not good for me, though, that they have that, rather. Probably just go down. I'm playing against aggro. I don't want to be on the counter plan, right? The Secret Keepers are going to be good. I am going to bounce this So Tiny out because of the Shepherd of the Flocks, though, but I do think the Charmed Sleeps are probably good enough. And then I like the Golden Eggs. Kind of like the counter spells. And the Scavengers is actually not great against them, is it? It's good against like Youthful Knights, but they got so many flyers and so many Witchmacots. I think I'll just go down that. I could also go down a land here if I really wanted to. But I do want to hit all my lands, so let's go ahead and bounce it back for game number 2. Alright, we are back for game number 2. Boarded out a mountain for this forest, so I don't feel too bad. And I do think Trebuchet is good against our opponent, but this hand is not going to cut it, I don't think. Although Griffin seems fine. A little bit better, we can stick a mountain on the bottom here. It's kind of the same hand anyway. And hopefully that Tome Raider gets us there. Do have the forest for the Fell the Pheasant, so we can sacrifice our eggs pretty freely if we draw them. I don't care about this card at all. Not even sure why my opponent's playing this card. They just want 1-drops, I guess. They might have, I don't know. I don't know what they have that they want a 1-2 in their deck. Scry 2 is not really worth it. They did mill 2 islands. Kind of annoying. Kind of annoying. Not that we took an island out of our deck or anything, but it is the most important land we could draw. Get a couple shots at it with Tome Raider, though. This thing's going to get some damage in. Okay, Youthful Knight, sure. Again, we have a lot of things that can block these creatures. We need to draw them, though. I'm going to play this forest and run out the Tome Raider. Basically, anything that's not a mountain. Yeah, more Tome Raiders is something. We are going to get overrun very quickly if that's all I end up drawing, though. Like, we need a Mistford River Turtle. Okay. Another Youthful Knight, sure. Keeping up a blue mana for Witch and Well. Pretty good. Witch and Well just means that they have more action later in the game. I'm going to take 3 here down to 16, and then probably just end up playing another Tome Raider. I cannot profitably double block a Youthful Knight with Tome Raiders. I can double block Overwhelmed Apprentice if for some reason that's a thing I want to do. Secret Keeper, huh? Let's play Tome Raider first, and then if I draw an island, I might just activate, like just play an 0-4. I don't think I need to mill them for 4 here. Not with the Didn't Say Pleases in my hand. Yeah, I'm just going to play play an 0-4, stem the bleed in a little bit, and don't think I'm attacking here. If we had an Improbable Alliance on turn 2, though, we'd be going off right now. We'd have 2 extra fairies. Sure, Tome Raider of their own is solid. Let's see if they decide to attack, or if they've got a... I guess they could have Shepherd of the Flock here. It's a single white mana. Use it on the Tome Raider for a little bit of value. Oh, bounce the Witch and Well. Okay. Not sure I would have done that over just the Tome Raider. I think getting bodies off board is good here, given our opponent has Silver Flame Ritual and stuff like that in their deck, so trading a Tome Raider for anything on board seems reasonable. Tapped land, huh? Why do you hate me? Tapped land? No spells in the graveyard. Let's just go ahead and get this out there and pass. And we're going to start taking 2. I will block a Tome Raider, I think. Or, it's not great. I don't have anything else that can stop the creatures on board. I'm probably going to have to counter basically any creature. I think I can take some damage from Tome Raider for now. Like, I want to counter this 3-1 so they can't, like, run away together or something. Ardenvale Paladin. And, oh, we have Charmed Sleep. I think I'm going to counter that, and then they're going to play Witch and Well. Oh, there goes our 3 actually very solid cards here. Alright, next draw step. Be nice to us. Improbable Alliance off the top. Let's get that going. I don't have a way to draw cards. Mad Ratter would also be very good against this opponent. Blue-white doesn't have a good way to deal with Mad Ratter, and if I can just trigger it like once or twice, then I can start doing gang blocks and stuff like that. Again, maybe not great against Youthful Knight, but we can at least use it to chump block a little bit. I'm kind of glad my opponent decided this turn to go for the Witch and Well over getting some other bodies on board. The real question is, am I trading for this Tome Raider? I think I am. I think I am. Another Charmed Sleep. That means I should probably just run out one of my Charmed Sleeps as it is. Save me some damage next turn. And just pass the turn. Double blue hurting us a little bit. It would have been nice to play a Charmed Sleep and hold up a counterspell. Yeah, Charmed Sleep's just not good against our opponent. They have multiples of these. We saw 2 of them last game. Like, if they go... I mean, they also have Run Away together. So they've got a lot of way to get value. We've also got a million Youthful Knights. We have cards in our deck that are good against these. Okay, Golden Egg. Reasonable draw. Just reasonable. Sure. The goldenest egg of them all draws a Tome Raider. Okay, I think I just want to go Charmed Sleep on this. And then take 2 next turn. Not super worried about the 3-1 itself. My opponent might even just use next turn to draw some cards with the Witching Well. Okay, Pathlighter. Ugh, come on, what a draw. Now it's a 4-2, which is actually nuts. Can I draw anything that blocks? Draw my Steel Gaze Griffin. It blocks everything. No, a bunch of counterspells not going to do it. Let's go red, blue, green, Tome Raider. There's that turtle I was asking for, which is relevant next turn. Yeah, I think I'm just going to have to take some damage and sack my egg here. I have a counterspell up. Am I chumping a 4-2? I'm taking 6 if I don't, like, chump block somewhere. I might just put Secret Keeper in front of Shepherd. Yep, that's pretty good. Does mean they're probably not casting another spell this turn. They could go land 2-drop or something like that. They do have Guide Mothers and stuff like that. Resolving this and holding up a counterspell would make me feel pretty good. Yeah, I have to counter that, basically. I'm definitely not doing great here. They're going to attack with everything, and I have to really decide this turn what I'm doing. So if I play Turtle next turn, because I can go block here, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I just chump. And then I take 4 this way. And then next turn, hopefully draw a blue source. It doesn't even have to be a blue source, but an island would be great. Alliance. This is not the turn for the Alliance, though. I think I just have to go Turtle and hope my opponent's last card wasn't just nuts. Alright, here we go. I'm going to hold up the food instead of playing the Alliance. I do not have Counterspell back up. My opponent has the 15th Youthful Knight. Let's see if they want to get super aggro here. They probably should, right? So what I can do is go eat a knight and block a knight and then crack the food to not die. That gets 1 knight off the table. The alternative is to block here and then take 2, 4, 6. Or rather take 2, 4 down to 2 and then go back up to 5. But I think I want to eat a knight here and just survive with the food. I don't think I get super far by allowing my opponent to have more creatures on board, basically. Something like a Queen of Ice would be nice. So what's the plan next turn? Am I just dead? I can go block a Youthful Knight, block Shepherd, and then take 2, 4. Yeah, I'm just dead. I can't even activate the Improbable Alliance. Yeah, I guess I should just say good game, right? Block, block, take 2, 4. Ouch. I don't have enough mana to activate this. I don't have a way to draw. Not missing anything here. Yeah, let's give him the GG. They got us. The aggro deck finally got us in Game 3. Granted, they had a pretty good draw there with the Pathlighter. It gave them an evasive threat, and it let them play that stupid Shepherd as a 4-2, which mattered a lot there. But we're going to take our first loss and hopefully scrap up the third win here. So thanks for hanging out. Lots of really long games despite playing against 3 aggro decks in a row. And I will see you all for match number 4. All right, we are here for match number 4, and this is a fine opening hand. Again, this is kind of a dead card. It's not really a 2-drop that we can ever play on turn 2, but we do get to use it on a Tome Raider, hold up some counter magic maybe, and we're on the play, which makes this a little bit better. I'm going to run out the Sanctuary here. Again, I don't want my 4th land to come in tapped. Could matter quite a bit. We're against Robol 667. We are currently 2-1 against aggro decks, white-based aggro decks, which we are a little bit soft to, but we will win the late game against them. Could have used a little bit of help last game. Just a little bit, not a lot. Let's go Sanctuary and pass. Haven't seen Island Secret Keeper from our opponents yet. 1-drop? No 1-drop. Well, that was a fantastic draw, especially since we have this Tome Raider. Now we get to do the turn 2 Improbable Alliance. That's going to be nice. Another aggro deck. I do think these decks are probably pretty sweet. An opponent has something they can cast for green that they're not casting. I'm not sure exactly what that is. That or they're on full control, but I don't think that's right. Alright, Tome Raider, do your thing. Make another fairy. Off to a very good start here. Next turn we get to untap and hold up some interaction. Run away together on Tome Raider is good. Although my opponent's in green-white, which tends to have a lot of adventure stuff going on, and run away together is a lot worse against the adventure stuff. We've already seen that in basically all of our matches. You don't want to bounce a Fairy Guide Mother or Shepherd of the Flock or anything like that. Fae of Wishes, especially. Is this Castle Ardenvale back here? It's kind of cool. Oh, look, the castles are in the... Well, there's 2. This is Castle Vantress, the blue one. Down here, there's, I guess, lava, so it's probably the red one. Alright, 3-drop coming down, maybe? I do like our start, not gonna lie. Alright, Lonesome Unicorn's actually pretty good for us. Let's go ahead and play Island. We'll just trade some damage for now. During my opponent's end step, I don't know, I'm probably going to use this counterspell because I don't want them to get super far ahead or anything on board, because we don't have a lot of pressure or anything. And I can use Run Away Together on this Tome Raider at some point. Oh, this is just going to be great for us. Yeah, I'm definitely going to Run Away Together now. He kills the knight. Oh, gee. Oh my god. This is sick. So we're going to counter this, knock this off, and kill the knight. Okay. I'm very sorry, opponents. There's no God's Willing in this format. Get out of here. 2 target creatures with different players. Massive blowout. Massive blowout. Okay, let's go. Oh, I almost feel bad. That counters the Guide Mother, too. Keep that in mind. Counters the Guide Mother. I'm actually not going to play Golden Egg here because it gives me a guaranteed activation on this next turn. Wow, this is the type of game that if I lose, I have to quit Magic. That was straight up 3 for 1. Aww. And we don't have the counterspell active. Okay, that's pretty good. Good game. Okay, sure. Good game. Good game, he says. As after he gets 3 for 1. Do see people must love these just white-based adventure decks. I do think they're probably good too. All right, let's go Golden Egg. What? They're just main decking True Love's Kiss. I don't think that's right. You will find targets like this, but a lot of them aren't good targets. My opponent did find a good target. I'm not gonna lie. All right. Again, this is the type of game we could lose if our opponent just slams some big creature. I mean, I'm going to counter this if they cast it. That might not even be true. I might just slap Slow Tiny on it. But if they play anything that interacts like super favorably with my flyers, I'll counter that. And then we get to untap with another counter spell, and we can kind of, I think, fly by the radar. I think if they just cast like Lonesome Unicorn, I'll let it resolve, because I'm winning that race. If they cast like, I don't know, a 4-power creature, Marrowleaf Rider, I think this is okay. Yeah, Marrowleaf Rider's fine. The effect doesn't matter too much if my creatures are going to all be tapped. Rosethorn Acolytes. Sure, I think that's fine as well. And I'm just going to slap So Tiny on this Rider. We're not particularly close to that being a 0-power creature, but between these two, it'll get there. And untap. Queen of Ice, not a bad draw. So I don't want to leave myself exposed without the counter spell. So let's go ahead and jam in the air. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and freeze the Acolyte. And I'm not going to play the Queen of Ice. I just want to have this counter spell up. Again, since I'm going to cast Queen of Ice next turn, if they cast this Lonesome Unicorn, I'm just going to let it resolve. Because Queen of Ice can blank this, and again, I'm just getting much, much farther ahead in the damage race here. I just want to keep my counter spells for anything that's going to either pull the damage race in their favor or kill my flyers. Or something like a Spore Cap Spider, I'd probably counter. But Lonesome Unicorn on its own is not going to get there. And Queen of Ice is going to block these other creatures, so I think that'll be fine. I mean, they can equip to give +2/+1. Doesn't really do anything. Seems like a waste of their turn to do that. True Love's Kiss, huh? That is a card to watch out for with our enchantment-based removal. Down to 2 cards. Flaxen Intruder. I assume they're casting the sorcery to make some bears. Opponent says good game. Yeah, I'll take 1. Pass. Thrill of Possibility. I don't even need to cast that. I'd rather play this, hold up the counter spell, and hold that land for Thrill of Possibility. Let's go ahead and attack for 3. They've got 3 turns left to find something here, and I will pass. So Acolyte untaps now. Could be splashing. Acolyte's just a good card on its own. You don't need to be splashing because you're playing this card. But it is a good card. Flaxen Intruder, a fine card. I said when we were drafting that I don't like this card because the creature kind of sucks. So it's like a 7-mana sorcery that makes them 2/2s, which isn't super impressive. But it would have been pretty good if our opponent resolved there. That into like some mass pump or something would have been decent. Outmuscle to kill this. Give itself indestructible. And then that puts a counter on this. So they're dealing 4. I think I'm fine with that. If they attack with Rosethorn Acolyte this turn, it won't untap next turn, right? Deals combat damage. Never mind. So Queen of Ice did not affect that card at all. And this only gets in a little bit of damage. This is now a -3/1, so they have 3 power on board to my 3, and they've got 3 turns to get ahead of me. I've got 1 kind of safety valve spell here, so it's going to take multiple good spells for them to win this game, which is not impossible. I mean, they could have like the mythic rare board sweeping giant, which I kind of hope they have just to kind of punish me, and also because the animation's super cool. All right, attacking with the -3/1. I like it. Respectable. Untap, Embereth Paladin. All right, let's go ahead and cast Thrill of Possibility now. Discard this mountain. Island. Cool. That is how you lose games like this. Go ahead and attack and pass it back. Two turns left for the opponent. Time is ticking. And again, just holding this for reach creatures or flyers, which they're not going to have a lot of. White has flyers, obviously. Or, I don't know, removal spell. I probably wouldn't even counter a removal spell. They can't use Trapped in a Tower if they have it. All my creatures have flying. So that doesn't save them, which is White's primary removal spell. Their deck looks fine, though. It's, again, just kind of all in on 1-drops and hoping to outrun the opponent. So we can beat them if we have a decent draw. 2 Unveil, Tree Folk. So cast this, I take 5. Yeah, this is okay. I mean, next turn, if all they do is cast this, I'm dead. Or, I mean, they're dead, right? Alright, I will take 5. Go to 11. And that's the Mad Ratter. I'm not even going to show them that. I think I've just got this next turn. The fact that they're taking 3 this turn means that they now need 2 answers. They need to deal with 2 flyers or gain life somehow or something along those lines. Equipping doesn't really do anything. Casting either of these doesn't change the fact that they die. Curious Pair. Curious Pair does gain them life. I'm going to counter that. Their last card, I don't think, is going to deal with all 3 of these. So let's see what their last card is. Maybe they baited me. They milled Wandermare and Trapped in a Tower. Pretty good. Wandermare is nice. Gets a +1/+1 counter whenever you adventure. Or cast a creature adventure, basically. So yeah, this, and this don't matter. It's really their last card that matters, and didn't seem like it was relevant. The Curious Pair could get there, though. Because it makes a food token, so they get to, like, maybe play the last card and yada, yada, yada. Alright, they're not actually playing, or at least I didn't see the, whatchamacallits this time, like Youthful Knights, so maybe Wishful Merfolk's a little bit better here than it was against the other opponent. The Trebuchet, again, seems decent. I don't need the Fell the Pheasant this time, I don't think. I just need to be good against ground creatures, and I think Wishful Merfolk trading off for them is probably fine. On the draw, again, I'm going to go down a counterspell here. They do have enchantment removal, which is super annoying for me, but I don't think I'm supposed to board out like my enchantments here. And I do need to go down another card. Trebuchet is good against a decent number of things that I saw, but not like overwhelmingly good, right? Mystical Dispute's probably fine. I mean, they have so many like expensive adventures too. The Unicorn, the 2 Unveil guy, so I think I'm probably fine against that. The Secret Keeper seems okay. Maybe I just don't need this Wishful Merfolk. Yeah, okay. Let's just try to run it back as it is, and I'll see you guys for game 2. Okay, we're back. There was some extensive sideboard going on. We didn't see it, but I like this hand. Trebuchet and Merchant of the Veil are early blockers, and if I draw like a 5th land, I can haggle it away, so seems good. If I draw my Improbable Alliance on turn 1 or 2, then that makes the Merchant that much better. Yeah, I think I'll just lead off with the Sanctuary. I don't have any spells that I really get back. I really wish I had a burn spell, like a Scorching Dragonfire or Slaying Fire or something would make my Mystic Sanctuary better. Getting back a counter spell isn't really where I want to be, because the opponent knows about that, so they can play around it. But getting back a burn spell, like, it's probably going to trade for something. They can play around a burn spell, obviously, but sometimes they can't do anything. Opponent mulled to 6 here for what it's worth, and they go, hopefully not Innkeeper. Curious Pair, sure. Innkeeper's like the card that scares me most. Alright, let's go Sanctuary and pass. Fine 2-drop, or turn 2 play, I should say. My human deck. Human Noble Wizard, Human Peasant, Griffin. Steel Gaze Griffin has overperformed, in particular against all of these aggro decks. Just 4-butt and having flying, relevant. Doesn't even matter what its power is. Who's a little fox? Who's a little fox? Look how well animated this is compared to the cat. Also, where's my cat? What's going on? Sure. We'll Queen of Ice that. This can force a block with that food token. Not a big deal, because I'd probably block it anyway. Like, they might trade off for a Trebuchet or something. I guess if they stick a bunch of extra power and toughness boost and stuff on top of this, it's fine. Whoa. I was like, why is it not auto-passing? But they can target itself with this. Yeah, let's go ahead and lock this thing down for a turn. And see what we're up against next turn. I'll probably just play Queen of Ice. One card in particular I do like with Marrowleaf Rider is Outmuscle, because if you can Adamant it, you get to kill something with Outmuscle, and then you can use the ability on this to eat a blocker too, and this is still indestructible for the turn, so it's a nice way to get extra leverage out of this ability. Yeah, it should be auto-passing, but they could technically sack a food to make this rider target itself. So I don't know if my opponent knows that it's their turn or not, but it's a little annoying. So Improbable Alliance would be a great draw. Opponent doesn't have double white here. We get to go Improbable Alliance plus Haggle. Well, there's one white source, so there goes that theory. Own some Unicorn, make a dude, sure. Seems fine to me. Am I playing this Trebuchet? Again, you could pass here, opponent. You could pass. It'd be fine. Charmed Sleep. I might actually just Charmed Sleep this thing, but Charmed Sleep seems like a blowout against some of my opponent's like equipment and things like that. So I think I'm actually just going to play a blocker, and we might get blown out by a combat trick or something, or might just trade for the rider. But all of that seems fine. I'd rather have my opponent use their resources to fight over my little guys than kill off my Griffin or something like that. It's also possible my opponent might be new to these cards and might be like reading our cards or something. But this is a snail's pace game right now, so sorry about that. Queen of Ice, I would rather live than Trebuchet, so I'm offering this trade here. I guess Queen of Ice holds the 2/2 back, so maybe that's a little bit better to play. I don't really care about the pinging off of this and getting an extra damage in. Let my opponent use whatever trick they've got here. They're green-white adventure, so we've got to imagine they have tricks a lot, but the more they use, the better for me to get them out of the hand so that I'll have a clear path here with the Griffin. Like, they've got a lot of extra cards in backup here. Tome Raider. Tome Raider actually seems reasonable. I could haggle too. No, let's just play Tome Raider. Again, threatening to trade for the rider. They might just attack with the 2/2, and that's cool. Probably just play this 3/2 next turn. Like, sure, they have a lot of cards here, but most of them are face up. We know about these. We can kind of pick and choose our battles there. Let's get some more blue mana down. Steel Gaze Griffin is probably the play next turn. Let's see what our opponent's play is. Drew the 4th land, specifically a forest. If they have outmuscle, that'd be okay. If they outmuscle here, like, I'm fine with this. It's not that big of a deal. Like, this is fine. The problem now, though, of course, is that if I play my Steel Gaze Griffin, they get to eat it with the Marrowleaf Rider by forcing a block. So I am falling behind here. My opponent has out-tricked us. And I'm still not at the point where I can cast 2 spells in the same turn. Run away together would be very nice, so I can go Queen, block, bounce, bounce, and then reuse the Queen of Ice. But we do have to stick something on board and make sure it survives. Make sure that it survives. Probably going to go Charmed Sleep on this rider next turn. That way my Steel Gaze Griffin doesn't just get eaten right away. Maybe Merchant. We'll see what the draw is first. Another Charmed Sleep. So a pretty easy turn. Charmed Sleep on this thing and pass. Maybe that's not so easy. It might be right to play like Queen of Ice here. Ugh, come on, opponent. There's nothing even, like, you can think about all this stuff on your turn. You can't cast anything. Nice. They're going to untap, bounce this with the Shepherd of the Flock, and then I die. Oh, Plains True Love's Kiss. Is that the draw? Is that what did we get there? Hopefully these are just their plays now and I can stick this Griffin. Yeah, Unicorn's fine. Unicorn is respectable. I have an answer for that. I'm going to take 2. And I'm going to probably just stick Griffin and hope that it's good. I mean, my opponent has this card and whatever their top card is to try and fight through it before I get to untap with it and hold up answers. Oh my god, opponent hit me for 2. Robo, look. Attack for 2. There's not even like flavor text on Arena. I can't even like waste the time just flavor texting this out. Yes, pass. I am not going to haggle here, I guess is why it's waiting on me. If they didn't have this, it would just be auto pass into all of their next steps. But it's not, because they can use the stupid thing on their own creature. Yes, take 2. Oh my god, they're about to time out. Like, they're clearly here, right? Unless they're, like, playing Moto or something at the same time. Island. Okay, Island was a fine draw. So I do have another option here. I could go creature plus, like, Charm Sleep on this. Or I could go creature plus Island. I think I'm going to risk it and play the Steel Gaze Griffin and pass. And I'm just going to hope that their 2 unknown cards are not great. If they attack with both creatures, I'm not going to block this turn. I'll take whatever hit, because if they attack with... I mean, they should probably free roll the attack with the Lonesome Unicorn. There's not... Actually, I could get them pretty hard. I do have the 1 spell, I think, in this set that could punish them for that. But if they block with... Or if they attack with both, there's almost certainly a trick, and I can't afford to use my turn casting this if I'm just going to lose it to, like, a combat trick and then have them play another creature. I would just basically concede the game on the spot there. I have some tools to fight through it, but not good ones. I am sorry about the pace of this game. So, fingers crossed here. Wildwood Tracker, that's a good start. This card does not change the clock very much. And then Bartered Cow, when it dies, they make a food token. Okay, so they're not attacking this turn, but they are going to have a bunch of attackers on board. Good news for me is I think I can fight through it, because my Griffin blocks the 3/3s well, and my other creatures that I'm going to be playing block the 2 power creatures well. I'm going to keep that in hand for a haggle. I'm going to play Queen of Ice and hold up a counter spell. If they go... No, I'm just going to hold up a counter spell. Let's just play Queen of Ice here and pass. So we're going to need a little bit of help off the top, right? Just a little bit. But we're at a high enough life total that we're not just dead. Opponent is really making us just look at our cards with a fine-tooth comb for lack of not having anything else. Also, I just noticed this is Eric Dechamp, I don't know how to pronounce your name, I'm sorry, who does a lot of the art for like key planeswalkers and stuff. And they gave him this card, which is a common, called Queen of Ice. This is definitely a name that you would put on a rare. Not a common. How is a card called Queen of Ice a common? Also, this just looks like it should be an uncommon or something. Not the effect. The effect, I think this is fine as a common card, but you get what I'm saying, right? I'm trying to make small talk. I don't know what else to do with my opponent here. Alright, so they're going to play out a bigger board. They're going to have 6 creatures on board, which I can deal with. Oh, we're not attacking, are we? No, they're going to combat, so we get to sit here and do this again. Attacking with the 3/3s is fine. I'll actually double block. Get one of those off board. Let's block the Unicorn. I'll take 3. They'll kill Queen of Ice, and the Unicorn actually won't even or never mind, the Unicorn's dying, but whatever. I don't care about this extra 3 damage, because I'm going to play another blocker, and then the Griffin just blocks everything. So as long as they don't just draw a million creatures off the top, I think I'm fine. Probably going to use... No, I'm not going to use Charm Sleep next turn. I guess I have to think about next turn. Wait, what happened? They did 3 damage to the Griffin, not to the Queen of Ice? Youch. Opponent messed up block order there. That is not good for them. Alright, let's go... actually, I do have this activation. Maybe I want to play the Mountain. And I can haggle. I go 1, 1, 2, 3. That digs me a card deeper, and I don't need this island. So let's haggle, actually. You may discard a card. I will, in fact, discard this island. Steel Gaze Griffin gets bigger. And I would actually rather have the Merchant on board this turn than the Tome Raider, I think. Just to be able to block this and this. Yep. And can I afford to attack with the Griffin here? If so, I trade Queen of Ice here, and this eats something else. I take 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm going to get in with the Griffin. Oh, wait, but they have this cow. Never mind. Griffin's going to hold back for a little bit. We're going to play the slow game here. I feel like I've got pretty good odds against my opponent's top decks here, especially if they're lands. That means I don't even have to use the counterspell. I can get ahead a little bit. Yep, opponent's at the throwing away creatures phase of the game. So Queen of Ice blocks here. Steel Gaze Griffin eats something. This eats something, and I take 4. And then next turn, my blocks are even better. I've got 2 creatures to their 3. Could use like a golden egg or something just to gain a little bit of life so I don't get like splooshed out of nowhere. But I think it's fine. I'm not going to activate this. I want the cards in my hand. Another counter spell seems very good for me. Let's go 1, 2, 3, Tome Raider. And I can attack with Merchant of the Veil here. Yeah, I can attack with Merchant of the Veil. If they attack with both creatures, I can double block the cow. And the mountain, we can now use this ability to get ahead. I guess I could attack with the Griffin, but and then just double block as well. Would I rather... If I double block with this, I lose Tome Raider, which doesn't matter. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do this. Pass the turn. Could also just go block and no block, but I imagine they're attacking with both creatures here. Put me down to 2. They might mess up blocks again, but they probably learned their lesson last turn. Kill my Tome Raider. And then I can start getting in with... Or I can get in with the Merchant one more time here. But Merchant does not... Oh, no, that's a lie. I can get in with Steel Gaze Griffin. Do have a little bit of extra life to fight through, but I am definitely way ahead in this game, despite my life total being 0. This is also active, but I don't want to use it yet, so I think I just haggle here. Should have done it on end step. Yeah, haggle, attack with Griffin. Pitch this mountain. Resolve. Okay, drawing the island there's fine. I'm actually going to play the island. And then let's go ahead and attack with... I could attack with both. Take 1. I don't really want to go to 1. But I'll get in for 4 here, and then these can sit here and look at each other. Having the haggle ability or the activated ability here does make my Griffin just like always an air elemental. Granted, my opponent gets quite a few extra turns here if I don't put more power on board, but Rose Thorn Acolytes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's probably fine. I can Charm Sleep that one. If I draw a land off the top, I can actually play Scavengers, bounce it, and then still have a counterspell up, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, if I draw an untapped land, I can get him. If I draw Mad Ratter or Improbable Alliance, then the game is basically over. Also, they could be doing this on purpose. I don't think they are, but they could be. I'm not haggling on end step. Alright. Untap. God, this is going to stop in every single phase. It's ridiculous. Alright, so let's go Scavengers. Bounce Rose Thorn Acolytes. And this gives me another good attacker here. Sure, sack some food. Fine by me. Is my opponent running the clock on purpose? Sometimes they respond like immediately and sometimes they don't. Get that out of here. Attack with the Griffin for 2. Put our opponent to 18 and pass the turn. I'm fine with the Acolyte coming back down. Keeper of Fables can get countered. Get that out of here. Not that it really does very much. Trapped in a Tower and another Out Muscle. Good ones. Trapped in a Tower does not target Steel Gaze Griffin again. Alright, I'm going to go... Well, let's haggle. 1, 2, 3. Haggle baggle. Discard the island. Griffin. So tiny. So now with the so tiny, I can go attack, attack, and then I can use so tiny on defense to stop myself from taking any damage. Also, if they just chump here, then I don't take any damage anyway, so I think they have to not block. Okay. Opponent is running out of time now. So if they are doing this on purpose, at least they won't have a lot of time to fiddle around with. I mean, they're clearly here. Anytime it flashes like that, they're here, right? But they're going step by step instead of passing through the turn. I mean, yeah, I guess they have attacks this turn, so let's go and flash this in on this thing, and I'll block the other guy. Alright, and I have lethal on board. 8, 10. Alright, game 3, please. For the love of God, game 3. Boy. Alright, I liked how our deck played there. Seems good. Gotta watch out for those out muscles. Makes me miss unsummon. Or unsummon. Oh, wait, what happened there? Were we up a game? Oh, maybe we won game 1. I don't remember. I thought we were down a game. All these decks are blending together. Anyway, we don't have to put up with that mess anymore, so... thanks. If you're still here, by the way, thanks for hanging out, because I would have been watching that video and been like, yeah, I'm going to go find something else to do. But that's the break-even point. That means that we get up to 2 more matches here. See if we can find something other than an aggro deck to play against. But I'm happy with this performance. I'm really happy if I get above that. So jumping into match number 5 right now. All right, here we are for match 5. Pretty unkeepable hand despite the haggle. Fairly keepable hand. I think we pitch a mountain here. And we'll see if we need to thrill on turn 2 or not. Oh, shoot, not that. All right, mountain to the bottom. Opponent is Mega Kisame on 7. And we'll run out our Sanctuary. We have had to do a couple mulligans here. Despite only having, like, what, 7 mountains in the deck? It should be probably 1 less. I meant to fix that at some point, but I didn't. Improbable Alliance would have been a nice draw there. Gingerbread Cabin, red-green. Ooh, something different. Red-green is the Non-Humans Matters card, or apparently the Sorcerer's Broom deck. I think I am good to just untap here and not use my Thrill yet. And just pass the turn. Counter basically any 3-drop. They don't play anything, that's fine. I'll cast Thrill Possibility if they don't play anything. So whenever you sacrifice another permanent, you can pay 3 mana to create a copy of the Sorcerer's Broom. Pretty interesting. They are choosing not to play into a counterspell, so I will go ahead and draw some cards. And same deal. I think next turn I can go like Monitor into Didn't Say Please, so I think I'm fine just playing a land and passing here. I don't care about this Broom. I don't care about this Youthful Knight without first strike. Alright, 4-drop. Incoming. See here, my roommates. Ooh. Haven't seen a hybrid card yet in this video. Can't be blocked by Knights or Walls. Oh... do I want to Charm Sleep that? No, I'm going to go ahead and counter this one and then hold Charm Sleep for the next big play. We milled a Merchant of the Veil. So let's go Tome Raider Quarter Monitor. I probably should have played Tome Raider first. Misford River Turtle. Sure. Alright, so we now have a blocker for the Sorcerer's Broom. Untap that. And then we have Charm Sleep for a big creature. What we don't have a good answer for is 2 big creatures in a row. That is Busto. Guess I could play the turtle. Let's see what our draw is. Oh, that's not bad. Gonna attack here. Gonna charm sleep. Oh. Yeah, that keeps up double blue. Charm sleep the keeper, although they still get value off of the keeper if they can attack with other creatures. But that's fine. I've got one counter spell left. I need some draw spells, basically, is what I'm looking for. Some way to fuel extra cards here. Alright. Opponent's played some good cards so far. Good 4, good 5. Sorcerer's Broom is a card, I suppose. I've seen people play this card. It's fine. It's a bear, right, with some upside. I've yet to see anyone actually make a token copy of it. Wicked Wolf. No, thank you. They're gonna fight something. That's just another good card. Jeez, our opponent has a lot of good ones. Millen Outmuscle, Oakham Adversary, Marrowleaf Rider. Sure. Scalding Cauldron. Okay. They can make a copy of this broom with Scalding Cauldron. And we drew nothing. So I'm not feeling very good about this match now. I'm going to attack with both. Because they're going to kill my Tome Raider and then make a copy of Sorcerer's Broom, I assume, is the combo here. So 3 mana, sack it, and then another 3 mana for the broom. And we have not a lot going on in our hands. We milled a bunch of cards, but doesn't matter too much, right? Kenrith's Transformation. Okay, that actually shuts off this thing's ability. So now they can't copy it. Emberth Paladin. Okay. Sure. I'll take 5, I suppose. It's not that big of a deal. That's a big deal, though. I have to pass here. I need double blocks on this Paladin. This is weird. That didn't really give him a better attack. Ooh, that's bad. One, two, three. Nope, they have the Scalding Cauldron, so I can't go for the triple block. I can just block it, though, and then I can actually take 7 off this thing the first time. I'm in a lot of trouble now, though, because I don't have an answer for this, and I got to deal with this thing next turn. And I'm drawing blanks. I have nothing in hand. So I need, like, Mad Rather into draw spell. That's something. That's something. It's not a lot, but I'll take it. Let's go attack, attack. Well, get a little bit of damage in here. I'm gonna keep that tap down. We're gonna block this. Yeah, I'm gonna get in 1 extra point of damage here. They can Cauldron if they want. I don't think they will, but they can if they want. And we're gonna go Island, Queen, Slay. That thing. Temporary Slay. Oh, I guess they can kill Queen of Ice. But that's not even that big of a deal. Alright, they're using it basically to be mana efficient. That makes sense. I buy myself a turn, really. I'm not in good shape here. I'm definitely losing this game. And most of my draws don't get me out of it at this point. Improbable Alliance could get there. But I don't have enough pressure for that. I need to kill this. So I need Charm Sleep number 2, basically. And opponent's going to go and cast a 6/5, I assume. Yep. 6/5 coming down. There's a Griffin. And this is going to untap next turn. Yeah, I'm not in good shape. My Mad Ratter has not come up a lot, unfortunately. Came up in match 1. Alright. So sending in the goons, I can go block here, and then chump. I don't know if that's good. Opponent has 2 cards in hand. I assume they blow me out, but I can't afford to play around that at this point. I kind of like just narrowing it down to 2 creatures versus 2 creatures. Just getting a thing off board. The alternative would be to put like 3 creatures in front of this. And then, I guess, let me think for a second. So I can go block, 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 block. And then Tome Raider here and go to 1, assuming they have nothing. That lets this eat this, but only 1 thing, and then I have 2 creatures left on board anyway. So yeah, this doesn't really get me that far ahead. So we're going to go block, block here, chump block here, chump block here. And see what my next draw can muster up. Now, unfortunately, these don't trade for these. If I draw a draw spell, then the Griffin can trade for the Paladin. Drawbridge is, I mean, it's a card, I suppose. If it was just another creature, I'd be in trouble. Well, alright, drawing that land there puts the nail in the coffin. Didn't quite get there, but let's see what we can do to sideboard against kind of a beatdown deck. I think we should be fine against a beatdown deck. Imagine we draw Mad Ratter this game. Like, they can never kill us. They can never kill us. Skullknocker Ogre seems a little bit better. Fell the Pheasant does not. Redcap Melee seems good here, though. It'll finally be good. Mystical Dispute also probably fine, but I don't want the 5th counterspell. And then maybe like Skullknocker just to have a beefy creature that can trade off for their beefy creatures, right? Those are things I'm considering. The little creatures seem a lot worse here. Like, a lot worse. So I think that thing can go away. And maybe like the turtle, right? They're just going to beat over the turtle is the problem. Yeah, let's get out of my deck, turtle. Nobody loves you. I think I'd rather have the Skullknocker than the turtle here. And I think that's how we're going to play this up. So let's run it back for game 2. Alright, as promised, game 2. Pretty slow hand, but it has some interaction. Counterspell. If we draw a red source, the melee should be pretty good. So I'm going to keep this and just run out Sanctuary on turn 1. I guess I could go... They're not going to have a 1-drop that I care about. I can go Sanctuary here and just mill them for 4. Not that I think that matters that much. 4 hits, look at that. Garenbrig Paladin is good against my deck. I can't chump block that one. This Paladin we can beat, we just didn't really have the tools for it. And then here I'm going to go Sanctuary and just cast the 0-4. So same position I would have been in last turn, but they're down 4 cards in their library, which I guess could matter. And then probably just hold up the counter spell next turn instead of playing Queen of Ice. Maybe play Queen of Ice, actually. It's their like 4 drops and above that I really want to counter with this. I'm going to be able to block most of the other things. Yep, red mana actually quite good here. Let's go ahead and if they have a removal spell for this, not that big of a deal. Gonna run it out. Run it out. This isn't a wall, is it? Merfolk Wizard, of course. Alright, do you have a Scorching Dragonfire? If they do, they don't want to use it on Queen of Ice. Good to know. Good to know. Alright. Untap and draw something. Could kill that, not going to. I am, however, going to attack into it with a Queen of Ice. If they play Embereth Paladin next turn, I'm just going to counter it, right? So let's go ahead and attack into it. That way, if they use the mana off of it, it doesn't untap the turn after. They probably just take 2 anyway. Pro Strat. Actually, if they play an Embereth Paladin, I'm just going to redcap melee at it, right? This deals 4 damage to a red creature. Or it deals 4 to anything, but you sack a land if you didn't hit a red creature. Non-red permanent, whatever. They have a lot of cards in hand, though. We only have a couple counter spells. Griffin. Okame Adversary. I will counter that. Robber of the Rich, huh? That's a good one. Dwarven Mine. Robber of the Rich not particularly good against me right now, but it is a good one to know about. Ooh, Mystic Sanctuary for the counterspell seems decent. I'm going to play my Griffin this turn. Also, this will not untap next turn, which is... Oh, no, they didn't block. That's a lie. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and attack for 2. I'm going to play the Griffin, and then they have an opportunity to play like a hasty Embereth or something here. I'm hoping they don't have a way to actually kill this, because this is how I win, is trying to just beat them down with this Griffin while using my counter spells to stop them from getting things on board. I mean, I guess they have 21 cards left. This mill's 6. Not too big a deal. Ooh. Alright, Curious Pair does not get them ahead here. Good news for me. Fell the Pheasant? Wow, okay. Never mind. All that nonsense I said is a lie. And we are back to square one of not having much against an opponent who has a bunch of food, and I do not have my engine cards. I do not have my, whatchamacallits, my, Mad Ratters and what have you, improbable alliances. I would love to draw Improbable Alliance. Alright, Curious Pair doesn't change the board state very much. I don't care about this drawbridge. I never care about it. Opponent knows I have this counter spell. Yep, I will play the island and pass. This is not looking good for us. Opponent missed a land drop too, so they're all spells in hand. Not going to be able to kill them through combat damage because they killed the one creature we have that can kill them. So we got to go on the mill plan now, which is not great for us. Spore Cap Spider is fine. Just not going to counter anything that can't get through my creatures here. Okay. Charmed Sleep I don't have to use, so I'm fine just passing the turn. See, my opponent's clearly playing around one of my counter spells. I don't think they're playing around a second one. They don't know about this either, so I can even let a red creature resolve if they try to like bait me with one. I should counter like a 2 Unveiled Tree Folk if they try to like put the counters on something, just so that they can't have the 6/5. It would make me deal with 2 creatures, and I really don't want to deal with 2 creatures. Also note, this can kill a green creature if I really need it to. I just have to go down a land to do it. So it's an option. Out muscle here and here. Sure, I'll counter that. I kind of need my Queen of Ice, otherwise they can attack through me. Feels like bait. Keeper of Fables down. Nice deck from the opponent. Haven't seen a lot of red-green yet. Although I don't know why they're playing defensively. I don't think they want Spore Cap Spider, right? What flyers did I even show that kill them? The Tome Raiders? Tome Raiders don't kill you. Hey, look. Maybe we can win with a Tome Raider. Almost certainly passing the turn regardless of what I draw here. Mountain. I will play said Mountain. No, I'm going to hold it in case I draw the Haggle or the Thrill of Possibility. The reason to play it is because it makes me feel a little bit safer about using the red cap melee on a green creature if I need to. But I'm not in love with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana, potentially. I have no attacks on them. They don't have attacks on me. They are down to 14 cards. Essentially 11 with this counterspell. Torbran, Thane of Redfell. So this is the thing that makes them deal extra damage with their red permanents, right? Oh, I'm going to red cap melee that one. And I think what I'm going to do is... Oh, they didn't activate the drawbridge. Interesting. Sure. Let's go and just kill this thing. Guess they could have a pump spell in hands. And then I have to counter the pump spell? No, they did not. Ooh, another counter spell. So that puts it at essentially 8 cards left. 7, really, because they're going to draw a card here. So maybe we're on the mill plan. We have one more Didn't Say Please in the deck. I don't think we cut one. Is Torbran good in their deck? Yeah, it's probably good enough. It's a 4/4 on its own. If you can manage the triple red, which my opponent's doing fine, then that's fine. They don't know about the other counter spells. They do know about this Tome Raider, though. Get in there, Tome Raider. Do your thing. Draw me an extra card. Yep. And I will ship the turn here. Every turn that goes by is them just getting closer to being milled out. Can't attack through this Spore Cap Spider, however. And I gotta accept that if they have Fell the... Like, I don't care about Spore Cap Spider because I'm not attacking them. I do care about Fell the Pheasant, though. This is pretty good against me. Alright, pass the turn. How many cards do I have? Yeah, plenty. So they can't play the game of trying to make me deck first by not casting spells. If they think I have this Didn't Say Please. I'll cast a Skull Knocker Ogre. Will I? Yeah, I will. If they play an Embereth Paladin, I can just let it resolve and trade off. Also, if Skullknocker, they might let it hit them, and if they do, then it draws them a card deeper, which is one less turn they have. Granted, it might draw them into action, but there's a chance they just let it hit them, and that's one less turn I have to wait for them to deck out. Between these two, they're at 6 cards. 5 cards left in library. So they have to kill me in 5 turns, or else it won't matter. Sure, I'm going to attack with Skullknocker Ogre and see what they do. They probably just block with the Spore Cap Spider, but that's fine. If they let it hit them, that, again, everything I just said is still true. It also makes them discard at random. I mean, worst case scenario, they block with Spore Cap Spider and nothing happens. Or, I mean, they could throw another creature in front. So I don't think this card is great. Because if my opponent was just flooding out, they could actually let it hit them and then upgrade one of their lands into a different card. So, oh. I mean, sure, I'll take out your Acolyte. If they use a trick here, I'm just going to let it happen. Interesting. I wonder what the opponent was thinking there. I guess they had to double block to kill it. Yeah, they wanted it dead, apparently. Sure. I will pass the turn. Maybe not the most exciting Magic, but this has this is what the format has devolved into a lot from what I see. I still have Secret Keeper on board too, which makes my run away together really good, because that means it's basically another mill 4. Another Charmed Sleep. I could just like Charmed Sleep this and probably have one with this Tome Raider by now. 8 cards left, so they're basically dead. I'm at 20 life. I don't think there's a way for them to win here. Just pass it back, which is good news because I'm not drawing like great cards or anything. So Torbran, they've got a pretty good deck. Granted, my 1-for-1 removal seems pretty good against them. There we go. So I'm gonna go. Just gonna do this now. Run away together, bounce this, bounce this. Do you have interaction? No. Mill you for 4. If they don't think they can win, they should concede and not let me see their library. Alright, here's all the cards we knew about last game. And I can hold up double counterspell here. Just in case. I don't know, Sundered Stroke. Would that kill me with the 7 red mana? They don't even have 7 red mana. And basically anything they cast here I'll counter just to see the rest of their library. Oh, I forgot about that one, to be honest. And do they concede or do they let me see their last cards? Trebuchet. Wicked Wolf. Neat. Neat, neat, neat. So the mill game plan got there for us. I'm pretty sure I could have won with Tome Raiders by just tapping down this spider. It was definitely more than 7 turns, although 6 extra life. I don't know. 10 turns of that nonsense. I don't think I really change anything. Yeah, I think we've got our board how we want it. They didn't draw a lot of their aggressive creatures, but they didn't actually have that many. They have one of these, Embereth Paladin, they have the Wicked Wolf, they have the 5/5 Rampart Smasher, so if we can deal with those and kind of sit defensively, then our mill plan should work out. Alright, we are back for match 3. Interesting hand. We've got the Merchant here. And we've got an okay spell. Plus we've got like extra action. Do I keep this? I think I'm going to keep this. I think I'm going to keep it with the Merchant. Okay, keeping it. I just need to draw one island to have a functional hand. Second island would obviously be great. Bam, got there. So now I don't even need to haggle if I really don't want to, but we will be looking for another island. Probably smack this on any creature that can attack early on. Not that one. Also doesn't fit the criteria I just said, so there we go. Good turn 2 play. That's why people are going to like this card. Do I tap it down here? Just not have to use my So Tiny? Yeah, why not? Save myself a little bit of trouble for now. It's going to be a bit of a pain moving forward. This card's decent on turn 2. It's just really bad on like turn 5 or 6, which is why I would avoid playing this card ever. Ooh, the Beanstalk Giant with haste later on. That's going to be problematic. Right now, this is just a land, so could unlock some of their hand. But their adventure creatures aren't good with just the drawbridge. I've got a little bit of action here. Ooh, we have Alliance plus Merchant. Is that better than Tome Raider? Yeah, it's got to be. Let's go Alliance. Let's haggle and get rid of one of the counter spells. Or So Tiny. I feel like we pitch one of those. Also drew our second island. That's good. So Tome Raider will make another 1/1 next turn. Good. Ooh, and they got the 1/1. That's going to gain haste. Thankfully, my 1/1 is good against that. Are we attacking? No, we're not blocking. We're not blocking. Come on. Ooh. Oh. Oh, I want to get that bat down and be so greedy. Or do I just go Tome Raider plus Tiny here? Oh, man, that's tough. Because if I get this down now and they don't kill it... God, that's so rough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So no Beanstalk Giant next turn. I'm just going to play it safe here. Yeah, I'm going to play it very safe. Let's go Tome Raider and hold up So Tiny. Makes another 1/1. Mystic Sanctuary. Not actually terrible. And I'm going to attack with this 1/1. Alright, go ahead. So next turn we probably have to hold up counter spells given the the drawbridge and the Beanstalk Giant. God, if I knew their hand they didn't have removal, I'm just slamming Mad Ratter. But we've seen outmuscles from their deck, and Mad Ratter will still be good later on if we can kind of stabilize and do all that jazz. So here we're probably gonna let whatever's gonna happen happen. If they just attack with the dwarf, I'm taking 1, and then maybe run out So Tiny on something anyway. Like they didn't play something that they wanted to give haste, so I don't think they have a big creature. No, let's keep So Tiny in hand, and we're going to run out this tapped Sanctuary. Attack for just 1, probably. Golden Egg can draw us another card next turn. Yeah, I don't care trading 1 for 1 here. And then this can block here. And my opponent knows about this counterspell. There's no way they won't know about the counterspell, given that I'm not casting these cards. One thing I don't like about Adventure, same thing with like Flashback and stuff, is if you don't use your mana to cast an obvious spell, it means that you're holding your mana for something else. But that's not always even true, to be honest. Opponent's down to 3 cards and a Beanstalk Giant. I will counter a Beanstalk Giant in a heartbeat. Very good card. We saw basically our opponent's entire deck last game. So they are going to decide to cast a 6/5 instead of this giant creature. And I'm going to counter it. I am going to counter it. I think we can get ahead. If I draw an untapped source, I get to go Mad Ratter, Golden Egg, make a fairy, make 2 rats, and then we get to just run away with the game. They milled an Out Muscle as well, so we saw 2 of them in the deck. I think Beanstalk Giant was basically one of the only cards we didn't see in their entire deck last time. Yes. Yes. Alright. We get to do the busted thing we put our deck together to do. Golden Egg, get in there. Make 3 tokens. Yes, yes, yes. And then we have the Merchant next turn to start activating every single turn. Even at this point, if they kill Mad Ratter, I've gotten quite a bit of value. I mean, I can chump Beanstalk Giant forever if that's their plan. Like, I don't even really care if Beanstalk Giant resolves. Scalding Cauldron. So they're going to kill the Mad Ratter, sure. They are going to kill the Ratter. No fun. No fun. But again, that cost them like their turn to kill that, and I got 2 rats off the deal. Ugh. This is kind of sickening. If I had a counterspell, this game would be over. I can attack with everything. They block 1 damage. Yeah. Let's send in the goons. The respectable no block with the 0/4, I like it. So I'll just make yeah, okay. The opponent scoops there. Jeez. Alright, we got to go off that game. Got to go off. Felt good, felt good. That's what we wanted to do when we drafted the deck. And a Feast and Troll King. Busted card, by the way. Alright, well, I'm going to claim this prize I don't care about. And hold on a second. Okay, never mind. Back to the draft. We've got 1 match left. Win or loss. Win or lose. We are ending this thing, and it's been a long draft. So let's go ahead and jump into the match. Wish us luck. See you there. Alright, here we are. Match 3. Got a sketchy hand. I would be very happy to keep this on the draw, and I think I'm still fine keeping it on the play. I think I'm going to do the same thing I did last time, where I just mill for 4 on turn... Oh, it doesn't actually matter. Either way, I get this out, and I'm not doing anything else on turn 2. So let's keep this. It needs a 3rd land, but these Tome Raiders really make those fine. And it, again, doesn't really matter what I do here. Let's just mill for 4, get some information, start thinking about what's going on. Entropy. Black-green this time. Lost Legion... Reaper of Night, Malevolent Noble. So our opponent's probably playing some Lucky Charm deck, or Lucky Clover, whatever it's called. Let's get this 0/4 out, and then fingers crossed for a land. Opponent has a black spell in hand. Could be the Death Touch thing, +1/+2 and Death Touch, which is admittedly good against Secret Keeper. Alright, you have a 2-drop. They have a Trail of Crumbs, very good. Not great against our mill plan, but does just give them a bunch of extra permanents on board. Tome Raider, that mountain was just ideal. Alright, more lands is not a bad thing here. We're probably going on the mill plan against this opponent, I would imagine. We're not going to beat just a dedicated food deck by any stretch. We do not have a counterspell in hand currently. Woohoo! Forever Young. Putting those cards on top. And then Curious Pair to hand. They're going to draw Lost Legion next. Okay. We are going to... I guess we might as well attack for 1. And then we are going to play Tome Raider. And an Island and pass. So I'm kind of glad they put that one on top and not this stupid thing, because this card is nuts. Giant Opportunity. Sacrifice 2 foods to make a 7/7. Okay. And they have the mana to activate the Trail of Crumbs, so their opponent's doing the thing. They are doing the thing. We need to find a Charmed Sleep for this at some point, but we've got some action. Or the double bounce would be nuts. So tiny, not quite getting there for us. Hey, look, Charmed Sleep. So I think let's go and attack. This doesn't have reach, right? 1, 2, buckle my shoe. I do want to draw some Charmed Sleeps here. This thing is going to make me discard 2 cards if my opponent decides to do that next turn. I am going to lock down their dude. And probably just pass here. I'm going to keep this Corridor Monitor in hand. Doesn't seem like it's going to be impactful this game, and I'm fine discarding it to the Reaper. The Reaper of Night. There we go. Discard this and probably Thrill of Possibility. Or maybe So Tiny. Yeah, let's discard So Tiny. And they still have this 1 mana black spell in hand. Nice. The counterspell is very good here. I think what my deck is missing is a hard card draw spell, like Into the Story or the Unexplained Visions, just to make my deck very good. Something like that. So hopefully we don't have to counter anything this turn, because I really want to use this counter spell on the 4/5 when they cast it, but we'll see. Lost Legion can resolve. Lost Legion can scry. I do think this card is very good, by the way. Anytime you sack a food, you can pay an additional mana to get one of the top 2 cards of your deck if it's a permanent. Pretty good. I mean, we've got a clock going in the air. It's nothing special, but it is going. 1 top, 1 bottom from OP. If we're playing around them having the Death Touch spell, then I guess our blocks aren't great. Also, this is decent against our Charm Sleeps, but nothing special. Another Tome Raider. Do we Tome Raider into an island is the question. They didn't play a land. Or no, they didn't have an opportunity to play a land yet. That's pretty good. Alright. 1, 2. And pass. So how do I want to go on the mill plan? Or do I want to go on just beating them with flyers? Because Runaway Together on this is where I want to go with the mill plan. I'm going to block this thing. And if they want to eat 2 creatures to make it bigger, then be my guest. I will bounce in response. But if I block this one, then they at least sack the giant to deal an extra point of damage. I think they have the Lash here, right? It's got to be the Lash. Oh, Insatiable Appetite. You may sacrifice food. If you do, target creature gets +5/+5. Okay, they don't have a food to sack. Otherwise, I would let it resolve. Do I care about this? 1, 2, 3. Can I race them? They have 5 turns. They put me down to 18. I think I can race them here, especially with this Queen of Ice in my hand. I'm just gonna let this resolve. Again, try to. I don't have a counterspell active right now, but try to hold up a counterspell for anything that interacts with these flyers. Another Lost Legion. Changes the equation a little bit. I'm probably just gonna Queen of Ice and tap out for that next turn. Maybe not. Maybe Queen of Ice, tap a thing, and then hold up a counterspell. Let's go and put our opponent to 10. One, two. Tap this guy. The damage is all the same. And then I can probably just cast this Queen of Ice, right? If something resolves, I have Runaway Together. If they don't cast anything threatening, I can untap with Didn't Say Please. So we're kind of hoping they don't have anything crazy here. But they can't cast this turn, which is a big deal, because I don't want to use Runaway Together on that card. I want to counter that card. Giant Skewer. Okay. I think this card is horrendously bad, by the way. Like, they're going to get 2 extra damage. This deals 2 damage here. I'm not going to block. They'll get food tokens. Mad Ratter into Thrill of Possibility. Oh, okay. Well, attack, attack, attack. Oh, what am I getting rid of, though, if I do that? Run away together. This is how much? 2? Alright, they still can't go for the play, so maybe I go Mad Ratter, Thrill of Possibility, pitch in, run away together, make some blockers. I don't want to chump block this, so I'm going to pass the turn here. Probably going to block this Lost Legion, let them activate that, and then use run away together. Or, I don't know, maybe not even do that, to be honest. Yeah, block this, make them use mana to sack this and put counters on that, and then bounce this and Queen of Ice back to my hand. So, block here. They will pay 2 to sack the Giant, I assume. Sure, we'll let that resolve. See if they want to do anything else tricky here. We'll go boom, boom, run away together, bounce this, and I will not take damage this turn. Plus it costs 3 more mana to equip this thing next turn. But next turn's the turn where I gotta keep up Didn't Say Please for this thing. Although maybe not, they're dead in 3 turns. I assume they're just gonna replay Lost Legion here. Might get to lock something down for a turn. I'm feeling pretty good about this match. As long as they don't get food. I should probably counter things that make food too. Out muscle. We'll counter that. Wow. Clackbridge Troll and Blacklands Paragon. Okay. That is a play. Well, here goes my game plan. I'm going to go ahead and attack. And I'm going to go Mad Ratter, Thrill, discard Queen, get 3 more bodies on board. And then they have to be able to block everything. And they have two shots at drawing something that deals with it. The alternative is playing Queen, but that uses up most of my mana. So I think I can do this. Mad Ratter. I can actually wait until their turn, because Thrill is an instant. Sure, Curious Pair does make food. That only matters if they're gonna... Okay, so they're searching with Trail of Crumbs. Interesting. So I might not actually be able to kill him next turn, but turn after for sure. And adding another Curious Pair to the thing here doesn't make a difference. Oakham Adversary, they can't even cast. So their best card here is like a Curious Pair to cast. And they can't really afford to attack, I don't think. If they do, that's fine. No box. Queen of Ice is not irrelevant on this board. But I do think the 2 rats are fine. I don't know. I can probably untap. Yeah, miss out a little bit there. Sure, that's a little bit better. So let's go ahead and pitch Mountain. Make some rats. Mistford or River Turtle. Attack. And I'll just go the Queen of Ice route here. My opponent's got to get as many bodies into play as possible. Queen of Ice is going to lock 1 down, so that leaves 4 bodies on board. River Turtle might actually be better. It just gets that 4th point in. So they have to find another way to get in damage, basically. Or another way to gain life, so another food payoff or something along those lines. Or kill one of my creatures. Giant Skewer won't do it because I won't block. Maybe this can get enough damage in somehow. 1, 2, 3. Probably not. Reaper of Night definitely doesn't do it. I mean, Removal Spell kind of does it. Removal Spell specifically bake into a pie and then gain some life off the whatchamacallit would be very relevant. Sure, Giant Skewer's fine. Giant Skewer does not make food unless they hit a creature. And they don't have mana for Out Muscle, and it's combat damage, so that doesn't even matter. Alright, let's see what their play here is. Nothing. No, the counter spell should do it. So lock this down, counter anything they play. Oh, they're just dead on board. I don't even need to show them the counter spell here. Yeah, they're dead to the turtle. Because they'll die to combat damage before they get the food from the Lost Legion. So even if they block the turtle, they just die before they get to use it. Alright, we're up a game against green-black food. With some bombs that we milled. Clackbridge Troll. What a card, what a card, what a card. Don't have much sideboard against here. Spectre Shriek would be good, but we're not splashing black for that. I don't think we actually make any cuts here. This is the first kind of like non-aggro deck we've played against. I don't know what to do. I think I'll just run it back. Alright, game 2 coming up. We are back for game 2. It is match number 6. Match number 7, actually. No, is it 6? Who knows? I am keeping this hand for sure. It actually seems pretty good. This is my deck. These 3 cards are my deck. Ooh, we have the Curious Pair on turn 1. Sure. I am not worried about these Curious Pairs. I think, I just want to play out my Sanctuary and pass. Alright, 2-drop. Malevolent Noble's good. Not so good that we need to panic or anything, but good. Does mean it's going to get in some damage here, because we're not blocking it this turn. We're probably not blocking it with this Tome Raider next turn, and whatever they play here is going to get in as well. So we're going to take a little bit. Malevolent Noble is actually pretty good with Curious Pair. You can sack the dude, or you can sack these, you can sack that. Sack that all on the floor. Tome Raider coming out. That's my girl, Sky Scanner. River Turtle also seems relevant on this board as a blocker. So might just play River Turtle next turn. And then try to buy time to go like Runaway Together plus a spell in the same turn. And just accept that I'm going to take some damage for a little bit. Don't really want to discard 2, so I'm hoping that's not in my opponent's hand. Mystic Sanctuary will come untapped for the rest of the game. So let's just get in for 1 here and play the turtle. They might bake my turtle into a pie. We have turtle pie. They did not. Good to know. Alright. I can fight through 4 cards. Ooh, okay. I wonder, they must have just drawn that. So probably just discard land. This is not that bad for me. This is not that bad. I do have to counter that on the way down. And I have to run out my Sanctuary here too. Maybe I should have discarded a spell, put it back on top, but that doesn't actually net me cards or anything. If I attack with Tome Raider, they get a pretty clear attack back, but they only deal 1. So, well, they can do that regardless, right? Because I'm not blocking with Tome Raider, so let's get in there. Let's play Sanctuary and pass. I don't think it's in my best interest to miss my land drop just to get value off that Sanctuary. I can actually let this resolve, right, because of the Charmed Sleep, so I don't have to counter that. I just have to counter things that let my opponent win here. Granted, Charmed Sleep's annoying with this Malevolent Noble. Block. Sure. And let's see what the play is. Giant opportunity to make a bunch of food. Sure. Fine by me, my friend. Fine by me. Looks like it's going to be a mill game. So here, attack for 1. It really doesn't. The attacks really don't matter. And then now I get to hold up double counter spell. You're up, opponent. I will not counter this Reaper, because I actually want my opponent to use their mana to put counters on this, and then I can bounce and reset them, set them back a decent amount. So I am gonna Charm Sleep this Reaper. No, that's dumb. That's dumb. Stop being dumb. Turtle. Thank you, Turtle. You really did it there, Turtle. You nailed it. Okay, don't mind drawing extra lands here. Red, blue, blue on this thing. Play... No, I can hold the island now. Maybe... maybe my opponent will go for the sack Reaper and sack 2 other treasure or food tokens to get this Malevolent Noble up to big enough. Then that's going to use their whole turn, basically. Yep. There's no reason to do this unless they're going all in on it. Okay. Ooh, Witch's Cottage. Put that on top. That's gross. Another Malevolent Noble? That could be a problem. Oh, actually, if I counter this Malevolent Noble, I get to mill the Reaper off the top. Oh, 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 oh. Get out of here, Reaper. Lash. Yep, they do have a Lash. And a Deathless Knight. This is annoying. Whenever they gain life, they get to put this thing back in. They are down to 24 cards. We're going to put them down to 20. I guess Deathless Knight's not that big of a deal. Milled Reeve Soul and a Occam Adversary. Cards I don't really want to see. I guess Clackbridge Troll wouldn't be that bad if our opponent played it, right? Draws some extra cards. It would be pretty bad, not gonna lie. And we're gonna sit on defense now. So our opponent can sack food to get this Deathless Knight back, which is annoying. We don't necessarily have to counter the Deathless Knight, though, or deal with it, because the turtle can block it for now. Opponent's going to outmuscle, it looks like. The question is, what are we using Runaway together on? Are we using it on a Tome Raider to try and draw an extra card? Or are we going to use it on a Merfolk Secret Keeper to try and mill our opponent out? I think the mill plan is probably where we want to be. Although that might have been a good opportunity to go for it. Bounce this, get this back. So, not great there. This is fine too. My opponent is going to sack a artifact here, though. Sack of food. Sure. Resolve that. And let's go bounce. Bounce this, bounce this. Worth noting, our opponent does have Forever Young in their deck too, so we gotta hold up counter spells for everything. We can make this a 5/5 again. We are not drawing anything. Let's go and mill them. There goes a Forever Young. They might have multiples. And I'm just going to have to pass the turn here. They could go all in on the Noble here. Go sack, sack, sack. Okay. Play Curious Pair. 1, 2. So they only have 2 activations this turn. So they're not going in on the Noble this turn. Oh, they are. 1, 2. They can only activate it twice. Oh, I said no blocks. Whoops. Whoops. I thought I was going 2 blocks. Maybe that disincentivizes them. Nope, they're going. He's going in. So I'm just going to take a bunch of extra damage here for no reason. Not great. Not great at all. Alright, Tome Raider was a good draw, as usual. Bay. Chump blockers plus digs us deeper. Steel Gaze Griffin. Should we just play that? What's the worst that can happen? I'll take a turn off to play a Steel Gaze Griffin. No text. Probably just block with Secret Keeper now. And then hope that I didn't make a mistake. 4 or 5. Yeah, I have to block. This thing is now the Abyss. Hoo-hoo! And we have enough to activate. Maybe we can kill him through combat damage. So this is draw then discard. Ooh. They have 13 cards left. I have a counter spell. Tome Raider is a guaranteed another activation on this alliance. Maybe I can probably kill them through combat damage at this point, right? As long as this doesn't get in there. Oh, this is tough. I think I'm just going to win with this. So having the counter spell to back me up seems good. I have 19 cards left. I'm going to discard the counterspell. And I'm just going to attack with the Griffin, I think. Yeah. So Improbable Alliance now makes chump blockers. This is another guaranteed double chump. They could get this Deathless Knight back. Oh, they could have the Lash. I don't care if they use the Lash, honestly. Probably just sacrifice the Curious Pair. Oh, Insatiable Appetite. Sure. They use a food to kill my turtle. It's fine. They have one card left. I feel like maybe I should have kept the counterspell, but what I get to do now is play Tome Raider. Attack for 4 again. Attack for 5, maybe. Oh, actually, that's pretty good. Queen of Ice, tap this thing down. Yeah, I might be able to just kill him through combat damage now. And I'll cast Queen of Ice. Alright. They can get the Deathless Knight back here. Which they can keep getting back. Trail of Crumbs. Annoying. Back on the mill plan. Alright. Nice. So that's pretty smart. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the air here, but they're going to gain 3 life this turn. And then they're going to get this back to hand. I think I make them recast it though, right? Go block, block here. Or I could just block with Queen of Ice. And then have 1, 2, 3, 4 attackers still. Am I going to beat Trail of Crumbs? They have Clackbridge Troll still in their deck, I believe. Could also just chump and then... That's fine. I think Queen of Ice is fine to block with here. I think the Queen of Ice against this, though. Alright, let's just chump. Maybe. This is kind of a tough call. Flyers are a little bit more important. Okay. Yeah, I guess doing this is fine. That way, sure, they get the Deathless Knight back, but then they have to use their mana next turn to recast it if they want it. Ooh, that was a good draw. That was a very good draw. So I can do everything here. And hold up Didn't Say Please. 4, 5, 6. They're down to 11 cards, and they're going to be digging deeper with the trail. So I'm going to try to go for combat damage and mill. Pitch that. Make a fairy. Attack for 4, 5, 6. Attack for 6, and then I have block here and block on the Deathless Knight. I'm not going to win through combat damage, though, is the problem, because of the food. Or maybe I am. Like, maybe I am going to win through combat damage. They're at essentially 16. This is 4, 5, 6 damage. So I got to kill him over the course of 2 more turns without dying, which is a big deal. Let's just get in for 5 here. I feel a little bit safer with 1 more blocker. Yep, Trail of Crumbs. Dig a little bit deeper. I'm kind of hoping they just hit permanents here. Lost Legion is fine. $10 cards left in library. Well, had we taken our whatchamacallit here, we'd be looking pretty good. Opponent's at 8 though. 11 with this food. That is a Deathless Knight. Could counter it. Seems bad. Oh, they can attack with the Curious Pair too. That doesn't really make much of a difference. Block like this. Okay, take 1. Yeah, Steel Gaze Griffin's probably on defense here. I'm going to let this one resolve. 9 cards left. Actually, they might be able to kill me here. I can get in for 4, 5 next turn. They go up to 11. Charm Sleep's a fantastic draw, of course. They kept a card on top, though, so if I activate Improbable Alliance... to get the blocker, that's basically the same as locking down a blocker, right? Or if I go Charm Sleep on this... if I go Charm Sleep on anything but the Noble, that's not great. So I have to Charm Sleep the Noble... and then hold up a counter spell, I suppose, and just have blockers. Chump this for a turn. Block that and hold up Didn't Say Please. Yeah, let's go and Charm Sleep this Malevolent Noble. And then I'll give up the damage for the turn. If I attack 4, 5, 6... and make a blocker, block this, they attack back for 3, go to 11. That does kill them, but what if I attack for just 5 and go block? I think I'm better off holding this counter spell. The Steel Gaze will disincentivize the attack with these two. Maybe. I mean, I can block here and then chump Ruthless, whatever. Oh, Revenge of Ravens? I'm definitely probably just going to let that resolve. And then I just don't attack them for the win. Fine with this, actually. Go block here, and then block here. I lose my Raiders. I do lose my Raiders. But I get this Lost Legion off board. Unfortunately, this doesn't activate or trigger the Steel Gaze on their turn, only on mine. Blacklance Paragon. Okay, I guess I'm countering that, otherwise they give this Death Touch, right? And let's see if we can get old Clackbridge out. Although Clackbridge would be, I think, actively good for me. Giant Skewer, Festive Funeral, Lost Legion, all pretty good hits. Opponent down to 5 cards, one of which is Clackbridge Troll. But that just draws them extra cards and gives me more blockers. This is pretty good draw too. So I can go Haggle. I have 3, 4, 5, 9 mana. Oh, Haggle doesn't do anything. Just play this and activate twice. No. I'm just going to play or activate here. Draw, discard. Maybe Thrill of Possibilities. Oh, okay. Well, that is awkward, isn't it? I think I just ditch the Merchant and keep the Thrill for next turn. Or I could play Merchant here and block, start activating. Kind of tough. Alright, let's just play the Merchant. And pass the turn. I could probably win through combat damage here, even through the Revenge, but I want to play it super safe here. Because Clackbridge Troll is not actually a good draw for them. Clackbridge Troll, I should say. Oh, yeah, the Trail of Crumbs I don't think is going to get there either. It's just less cards they can have. I think I have one more Didn't Say Please, right? 1, 2, 3. I do have one more of those. They drew the Clackbridge Troll. So life is out of the equation, but they're at 3. And I don't think this Troll's good. They have to draw a card when I sack a creature. Yes. Unless they completely outdraw me here, but now they're dead. They have to kill me next turn, basically. Let's go ahead and block here, and the goat can block here. They could sack the Clackbridge Troll to the Malevolent Noble. I don't know why they would do that. This is also active. Oh man, what if they have another... If they have another Forever Young, I could die. That is one card that could kill me here. But they have to have it next turn, otherwise Clackbridge Troll will kill them. Because they're not sacking it. Bacon to apply my Griffin. Okay. No, they should have sacked their Troll. If they have a Forever Young, if that's their last card or something along those lines, then they might be fine, but... I will block here, and I will block here in case they have an Insatiable Appetite as well. And let's see it. Show me. Show me the money, opponent. That would be so brutal. Foreboding Fruit targeted me. Okay. Trigger my Improbable Alliance. Nice. Yes. Oh, the troll, man. They should have not played the troll first off, and then they should have sacked it to the Malevolent Noble to stop themselves from drawing the extra card. Nice. So we went the full 5-1. Nice. Very nice. I didn't think our deck was a 5-1 deck, but we managed to transition between the draw 2 deck and the mill deck. What did we lose to? An aggro deck, probably? Oh, yeah, that blue-white deck. That was pretty good. Clearly, blue is strong in this format. We didn't even have the powerful draw spells, but the power of just the fairies and the tempo cards and the counter spells, we were able to kind of play a tempo game, not a tempo game, but play a control game or transition into a mill plan if we thought we couldn't win. Like Revenge of Ravens, we're not winning through that card, right? Most of the time. So that's what we said, is we want to make sure we have a backup plan of being able to mill the opponent out. Because if our plan was to make a bunch of rats with Mad Ratter and then get in there, we just cannot beat Revenge of the Ravens without our like turn into a pumpkin. But this draft has been going on long enough. Kind of tired, actually. So I'll tell you what, I'll open the Eldraine packs, because we don't care about the rest of them. And we'll call it quits. Pretty fun deck overall. Ooh, Order of Midnight, Keeper Fable, sweet cards. Oh, we'll open that one here. Haha. Alright, anyway. Last one for the night. We get to see a Giant Killer. Awesome. So yeah, that's going to do it. Hopefully this video came out well, no glitches or anything, fingers crossed, and I get to share it with you guys. You guys get to tell me what you think of it, and get to tell me what you think of the matches, what the draft, so on and so forth. Appreciate y'all being here. If for some reason you're one of those 2 people who are still hanging out, I hope you enjoyed the video. We're going to wrap it up there. My name's Timothy with Manarocks. Remember to subscribe below. Find us on Twitter at MTG_Manarocks, and we'll call it a show, call it a video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.